Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? How you doing out there in Rumble and YouTube lands? Hope you're well. Hope everything's going well for you. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. I'm that monkey that you see on the screen there. That's actually me. That's not an avatar. I look like that in real life. Actually, you know what I look like right now? I look like a homeless grandpa. Seriously, I gotta shave, man. I look horrible. I feel bad for Lady Monkey. She has to look at me like this. But I got a lot of sleep last night, guys. I wasn't expecting it, but it did happen. And apparently the world's falling apart. I gotta stop doing that. Holy moly. I don't even know where to start, man. We got some big news. We have some interesting news. We have some non-interesting news. We have lots of news. Uh I guess we should just jump into the big one, right? Just jump into the how America took out Nord Stream pipeline. Did you guys see this article? This is not a good thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. They've changed how they do this. Uh I need well crap. There it is. They changed how you share. It's interesting. I kind of like it actually. But anyway, it says how America took out the Nord Stream pipeline. This is by Seymour Hersh, who apparently is a Pulitzer Prize winner. I think is what the award is. That means nothing to this story. I keep seeing people reporting about this story and like, by Pulitzer Prize winner Seymour. Pulitzer Prize winners can get shit wrong all the time. It happens. But, I just want to say from the beginning, I've been saying, yeah, we took this out. We did it. Our president told us we were going to do it. Remember, he gets up there and he gives a little speech where he says, I'm not going to allow the Nord Stream 2 to come online. And according to this article, there was another guy in the administration who basically said we'd take it out as well. There'd be a lot of people like, oh, no, it was the Russians. It was a false flag from the Russians. Do you know how much this cost the Russians to lose this thing? Anyway, there's no sourcing in this article. We're not actually going to read the article because it's long as shit. I did read it, and I'll tell you what it says. You guys can go read it yourselves. There it is for those of you over on the YouTubes. Here it is for you guys over on the Rumble machine. And it's an interesting story, but whether or not it's true is an interesting question because there's no sourcing. They have a source that they never name. They don't tell us where they came from. But here's the basic gist of it. The Biden administration decided they were going to take out the Nord Stream pipelines. And they decided this before the invasion. And so they make up this plan. And the plan is that they're going to use Navy divers. So they have the CIA doing this. We should, I guess, start that. No cartographer. America is not admitted to this. The Biden administration says, no, we absolutely didn't do it. The CIA says it's bullshit. But read it and be the judge. And like I said, I'll give you the gist here. The CIA and for some reason the State Department and the Treasury Department, I don't know why Treasury, they're brought in on this like, okay, we got to figure out something to do here. And in order to do a covert operation like this, a classified operation, they would have had to go get Congress approval. So what they did is they went, you know what? We won't do it as a CIA op. We'll do it as a naval operation, which, by the way, makes it an act of war. It was an act of war anyway. If we did blow this up, which I'm pretty sure we did, from everything I've seen, we're the only ones that it makes sense to blow that up. But it's an act of war. They called it, the Russians are calling it terrorism right now. They are mad as fuck about this article, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all because they should be. But they get together and they're like, look, if this is a classified operation, we got to tell Congress. So let's get the Navy divers to go in and do it. And so they get the Navy divers and they're like, well, how are we going to get this? How are we going to do this? How are we going to plant a bomb on these pipelines that we can blow up when we want them to? And they came up with this idea. We have a yearly operation over there in the Baltic Sea. And it's been going on for 21 years. So like, hey, The 22 years is coming up. We're gonna be doing war games. Let's do it then. And like, cool, we'll do it then. And like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this bomb on there, and 2 days later it's gonna explode. And then it's all ready to go. And the Biden administration, about 2 days, I think it says 2 days before, like, wait a minute, wait. Um, if we blow this up exactly 2 days after we all were just in the area, it's gonna look suspicious. So we need a timer. We need a thing that we can set off when we want it to. We need an actual remote control for this bomb. And so the CIA and the Navy and them, they all got together. Ooh, okay, how do we do this? And so what they came up with is these sensors that would get a constant stream from this specific buoy that was dropped in a routine air flight. They run air patrols over there all the time, and so they drop this buoy right in the right spot, and then when Biden wants to, boom, goes the pipelines. Um, it's an interesting story, but it's not backed up by anything other than a really good story. I don't know if we'll ever see, any more definitive proof. The United States is never going to come out and admit that we did this because that is an open act of war. And then the Russians can be like, all right, fuck you. You guys are in the war. My stance all along has been that we're the only ones who have the capability and had the motive and had a president who said, yeah, we're not going to let that come online. We've watched the clip here before. I don't have it with me, but we've watched the clip of this man go, yeah, we're not going to let that. We're not going to let that happen. Not a really good thing to say out loud, Joe. But I mean, he's not exactly the smartest guy in the room ever, is he? So yeah, this story comes out and Russia is pissed. They're out there calling for an international investigation. I will say this: they said that there should be retaliation. Now, when I say they, there are various different Russian officials involved here. I don't remember who all they are. This comes from reading like 5 or 6 different stories about this, as well as reading that main thing. That main article doesn't really mention the fallout from this because the fallout is from the article. Just for the record, there, the Dems are playing a very dangerous game, Monk. You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. Taking out the Nord Stream pipeline, 1 and 2, because 2 was just getting ready to come online, and 1 already had been. It hurts the Europeans. It helps the Norwegians, who, by the way, helped us in this, apparently, according to that article. Didn't Joe give Russia the go-ahead after shutting down the oil pipelines? What do you mean the go-ahead? You mean to open the pipeline up? Yeah, that article has a lot about that, about the timing and everything with it. Because Joe kind of has an about face from shit he said earlier. I'm more I hear what you're saying about it, and it is important. So again, please do read it, guys. But to me, the interesting part is it tells a good story, and all we're hearing is that these guys are like, "Nah, bro, it wasn't us." And as somebody said earlier in the chat, the CIA coming out and goes, "It wasn't us." I'm sorry, I don't believe you guys. You're professional liars. You're professional shitbags and liars. It's what you guys do. You kill people and you blow shit up, and then you go, "Yeah, it wasn't us. It was those guys over there with the darker skin, or it's those guys over there with the tiny hats." Or we do bad shit all the time, and we let the CIA get away with it. The CIA needs disband. They really do, because they're supposed to be basically a foreign intelligence monitoring operation, and they've turned it into, let's rebuild the world in our image, but don't tell people that's what we're doing. Let's just let it happen naturally after we blow shit up and kill people. How dare you, monkey? I know. I'm not big on the CIA. I'm really not. I don't know, guys. I told you guys at the time why I believe that this was us, and we're going into the war, right? And the one really big carrot, I guess is the word I want. The one negotiating piece that the Russians had with Europe is that gas. And somebody took it out. Somebody took it out and was like, yeah, look, we're just going to take that chip off the table. Now, who does it help? It helps the Ukrainians. It helps the Norwegians. Um, yeah, that's it. That's all I can think of. I like the CIA send me shekels. No, I hate them little shits, man. They're dirty bastards. And they lie about it. I mean, I get why they lie about it, but they are. They're just dirty little bastards. Oh man, this is not a good thing because in this article they talk about how when they're having the discussions, and I don't know how they know this again because they don't tell us who it was, but they said they're having the discussions, and in the discussions they're like, "Yes, this is an act of war." They're saying, "Yeah, this is an act of war. We got to be careful so we don't get caught because this is an act of war. It really is." If somebody blew up one of our pipelines, if another country blew up one of our pipelines, that would be an act of war. They're so desperate to get us in a war, man. You're buying like, no, I didn't do it, man. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Did you see 12 million new jobs? Ugh. That's what I woke up to, man. Somebody DM'd me the article, and so I read it. That's what I read first thing when I woke up. I'm like, ah, shit, I got to stop sleeping. We're gonna we're gonna have World War. I'm gonna wake up to a bomb going off in World War III. Yeah. Anyhow, Germany owns part of it too. There was a The way the pipeline worked is Russia sent the gas into Germany, and they used it for the German people, and then there was excess that went to these German companies who sold it for a profit to the rest of Europe. So Russia was getting money from it, Germany's getting money from it, and everybody in Europe is getting cheap natural gas. Um, and we took that out right before winter. Right. Oh, fuck. Um, yeah, we knew what we were doing. And we even said at the time, remember before the buildup, during the buildup, before the war, Biden said, hey, if they cut off that gas, we have ways to supply Europe still. We have guarantees from other countries like Norway. Yeah. This was a plot. This was done on purpose. The Russians get blamed for it. Like, hey, the Russians are trying to blame the United States for this. And according to that article, the Russians were out there secretly trying to figure out if they could get this fixed, trying to figure out how much it would cost to fix the damn thing because it's a major source of revenue for them. Yeah, no, it was a false flag by the Russians. Why? Why? Why would they do that? It makes no sense. It would make more sense to have that open and be like, hey, if you don't ease these sanctions, we're going to turn down the amount of gas coming through. That would make sense. Blowing it up makes no sense at all. The only thing that makes sense to blow it up would be somebody else who wants to hurt Russia. Yeah. But anyway, that's the story. I've linked it into chat there for you guys. Read it. It is a long one, but it's worth it, I think. Doesn't prove anything. I just want to be clear on that. It does not prove anything because there's no actual sourcing here. They tell us about the Navy divers that are there in Panama City. They tell us about what those guys do. They tell us about how. Remember, I told you they were going to use the Navy so that they could get away with not telling Congress. Once Biden comes out and announces, "Hey, we're not going to let Nord Stream 2 come online," they went, "Oh, you know what? Since he's announcing it, it's no longer classified. It's just highly top secret, and we don't have to tell Congress about that anyway." Because Congress has oversight when it comes to classified stuff. They don't have oversight on a whole lot of other shit that they should. But yeah, would you guys be surprised if Monkey was right again? or to blame it on the US simply because we would be the likely suspect. Not saying that's the case, just another possible explanation. Well, Reaper, here's the thing. At that point, they have to weigh it, right? Let's say that's what they wanted to do, to blame the US. Take out one of the pipelines. Why take out all of it? Why take out all of the pipe? Make them all unusable. You know what? Take out Nord Stream 1 or Nord Stream 2, leave the other one up. Because the closest these things come together, and they actually had to plot this out according to the article, is like a mile apart from each other. So they wanted them close together. You do it at a spot. If you're going to do it for a false flag, you do it at a spot that is going to cause the least amount of damage. Just take out one that you're pretty sure you can fix or that you can spare. You don't take out all of it. On the chance again, Streamlabs. Oh, let me see. I'm so sorry, dude. Come on, load up. Hang on, I'm waiting for it. Daytime internet, forgive me. Attack Alpaca, thank you. Since you're usually streaming when I'm asleep, I'll go ahead and mention on this stream that my birthday is next week. Well, Attack Alpaca, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Attack Alpaca, next week. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I hope you have a good one. I really, really do. Yeah, sorry, my notifications. Well, they're my notifications, so I apologize for that. Yeah, that was quite a while ago. Thank you so much for getting my attention on that. Monkey falls asleep for 13 hours. SDA Satsu night for Lord of Night. World War III begins. Man, I'm seriously getting afraid to fall asleep, man. I really am. Because weird shit happens if I sleep more than 4 or 5 hours, which doesn't happen all that much anyway. Yeah, so last night, guys, I go into bed because I tucked Lady Monkey in and I sit here and I'm like, I need to get ready for a stream. I'm like, nah, bro, I need to go lay down. So I go lay down and Phoebe is not happy. She's not happy because me and Lady Monkey are both in bed way too early in the night. She knows we don't go to sleep around the same time. So she crawls under the blankets and I don't notice because it's a king size bed and she does it somewhere between me and Lady Monkey. And then suddenly I start feeling claws in my back. You guys have heard me mention many times it feels like somebody's stabbing me. So at first I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I realize it's Phoebe because I start feeling her little furry hand or paw, I guess. They don't have hands. And so I have to dig her out from under the blankets and I lay her on top of the blankets and she's immediately trying to get back under them. So I pick her up, put her on the floor. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go to sleep. I'll wake up in a couple hours. We'll do the show. And then she starts doing her crazy crawling under the bed on her back, which is funny to watch, but it's really annoying when you're trying to go to sleep. And somewhere around 10, I would guess, I fall asleep. And I didn't wake up till 5. And yeah, that's my bad, y'all. It's my bad. John Fetterman, I'd like to apologize to you, sir, because I'm pretty sure your lightheadedness is because I fell asleep and the world was like, ah. John Fetterman goes to the doctor. Reportedly, they were at a Democrat retreat. Is it me or is it a little early for them to be having retreats already? They just got to work. They just got to work. Just got my first glitch in Hogwarts. What happened, Bubba? She was trying to save the world. You know what? That's probably what it would. Nuts. Phoebe was like, dude, don't go to sleep, man. It's a bad day for that. So Fetterman has to call his people to come pick him up from the retreat because he is, quote, lightheaded. I'm soft locked. Oh, give it a second, man. It'll probably unlock. That's what happened to me. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so Fetterman, he's at this Democrat retreat. He gets lightheaded. He calls them, and they take him to, was it George Washington Memorial? I forget which hospital they take him to. But they kept him overnight for observation. Don't worry, it's totally not a stroke. There's not a member of Congress who's, a member of the Senate specifically, the more powerful of the two bodies. There's not one who had a stroke and is still medically probably irresponsible to be in that position. Nah, man, he just got lightheaded. Uh, his sugar was off or some stupid shit like that. John Fetterman's EEG came back negative. Um, I don't know. I don't know if he really had another stroke or something like that. And if I were him and I'd had a major stroke like that, or if somebody I knew had a major stroke and they're out of nowhere feeling lightheaded, I'd probably insist they go to a doctor. Be like, oh, we need to come see you. Check out my brain real fast. But it is weird. It is weird. And the stress of the actual job. I mean, it's a congressman, so most of his job is calling people going, "Hey, can you give me a can you give me some money?" I'm surprised that they haven't started streaming, to be honest with you. Am I on Rumble? Yes, I am. I am. I'm over there. We're live on Rumble right now. Dax, he definitely had another stroke, probably to Jill, like the rest of the cabal. You know, I don't think this guy should have ran for Congress. Once he had that stroke, he should have dropped out. Hey, the alert went off that time. But once he had the stroke, he should have dropped out of the race because he was clearly not the same. And they kept trying to, oh no, it's just a verbal thing. You see, if you show them the words that they process, and then they did the debate, they had other things that, where they had him talk, and every time he did, the guy could barely speak. He didn't know where the hell he was. In the debate, hi everybody, goodbye. It was weird. And it's weird because the dude had a fucking stroke. Dark Resurrect, thank you coming through with that feminist $12. I pre-ordered Hogwarts Legacy Deluxe Edition to get access early on the PS5. My intention was to have my wife and me play it fairly evenly. Here I sit a whole 4 hours of gameplay. My wife is sitting at a measly 20 hours. Glad she's enjoying it. I'm glad she is too, Dark. How are you liking it, man? I've had fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with it. Daxy boy, you available? Or you just hanging out in chat? Either way is fine with me, my friend, but you and I haven't got to chat in a long time. So if you're available, let me know. Or if you want to come on. Mitch McConnell in a bikini in a kiddie pool in his office trying to get donos. Man, Squatch, that's a mental image I didn't need. I did not need that. But it really is. It really is. Most of their job is begging people for money so they can get reelected again. Is that a poke at me being single, you bigot? No, it wasn't a poke. I would never do that to you, Daxy. Now I gotta find you in my friends. Didn't I just see you recently? Y'all hang out. I'm producing in the background here, but unfortunately I'm live while I do it. Where's Dax at? Fetterman brain not letting me. Why are you asking me to send this to people who are not my friends? God damn it. I will say this about Twitter, because I still like Twitter, but it's gotten real weird trying to do searches and shit. It's like I know my friends are Dax. I can't find you. Can you send me a notice or a thing real fast? There it is. Appreciate you, bud. You a bitch. That is. These are my friends, guys. These are my friends. You a bitch. And with a lot of eyes in it, so I appreciate that. Yeah, Fetterman is probably no, he's not probably. Fetterman is unfit for the position. Everybody's talking about old Santos and like, oh, he shouldn't be doing. Fuck Santos. I don't care about the guy. He should be kicked out of office, but not until the president is, for the same fucking reason. But that's fine. That's fine. We have a dude in there who drools on himself, and not because he's 90. It's because he had a major fucking stroke. And instead of removing him from office, because, that's a bad idea to have somebody who literally can't concentrate on anything, has no cognitive ability, as part of your caucus in Congress. This is a guy who's in one of the most powerful bodies in the world. Now, like, what? No, he's supposed to look like that. The dude isn't there, man. By the way, Daxie, I did send the link. I did make sure to hit send, right? Because sometimes that happens. There it is. Yep, see, I did. Ha! Daxie boy.
Meow.
How you been, man?
I had breakfast, so that was pretty good.
Well, that's a plus. I have not had breakfast.
That is not a plus.
My breakfast was playing Phasmo with Bubba.
I'll have to go back and watch you die.
I did die, man. I don't know why it never does it to him, but I had a demon death. Demons can do whatever, they pop up whenever, and yeah, dead. Like, oh, well, that was fun. Anyhow, Daxie, what do you think of the state of the world? Do you think we blew up the pipeline?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't see any way around that. You think Fetterman had a stroke?
Multiple.
Yeah. Now, in all seriousness, somebody who had a stroke, who did get lightheaded like that, you would take them to be seen. And I could even see, okay, we're going to have you overnight for observation. My issue with it, though, is somebody who has a stroke, you don't throw them back into stressful situations. They need to relax. They need to rest. They need to recover. And he's had no time for that at all. None. He goes from the campaign straight into Congress. And granted, like I said, the Congress, they don't do a whole lot, but they do have to at least speak. And he can't do it.
He's got to lie on camera, man. That's stressful.
It is really stressful. Speaking of which, I don't know how much you watch Congress. Did you see the Twitter thing yesterday?
No, I have sleep during day problems and work during night problems.
They had the former Twitter folks up there. They had Jim Baker or James Baker, whichever his name is. I always get the Bakers confused. The lawyer who used to work for like the NSA or whatever it was. They had the JJ up there, and they had Noel, what's his name? Yoel Roth. And then they had this lady I wasn't familiar with. So you have those three sitting on the left side of the table, and then the far right is this younger black lady. And I forget her name. I'm not being rude or anything. I just don't remember her fucking name. I don't remember her popping up in the Twitter files or anything. But she used to be the head of trust and safety-ish kind of sort of thing.
Head.
The other three, anytime they were asked a question, it was like, I don't really remember what was going on there. Yeah, we made a mistake with the post story, but I don't remember much else. She was the exact opposite. She's like, January 6th happened because of this. And if we don't do something, everybody's going to die. She was like really apocalyptic about, if we don't clean up Twitter and social media in general, that you're going to have, it's just going to keep happening, she said. It's just going to keep happening.
Right.
Twitter wasn't even like the main source these idiots were talking to each other on. But she's one of those people that when Trump said stand by and stand ready or whatever the fuck he said, which by the way, he was just trying to quote what Chris Wallace had said. He couldn't remember the exact phrase. You can watch it, look at it, because Chris Wallace actually says something about standing by. Anyhow, several people on Twitter said things like, standing ready, locked and loaded. And she's like, we got to get rid of those people because they're horrible and they're going to cause all kinds of problems. They're going to kill everybody if there's an election. She was really, really weird. Anyhow.
That was really Alex Jonesy of you.
Well, thank you. I do a good job. I'm also very humble. But she never gives any other example except January 6th. If you watch the thing, so I forget who was presiding over it because this was the one committee. The ranking member, I forget who it is. The ranking member is Jamie Raskin, who, by the way, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. I'm probably going to get in trouble. Jamie Raskin has cancer and he's going through treatment. I hate the man, but I hope he recovers. I really do, because fuck cancer. However, he's wearing a bandana on his head, and there was a little bit of a controversy about this, which wasn't actually a controversy. He made a joke about Republicans giving him shit, and lefties took it as a real thing and lost their shit over it on Twitter. But anyway, he's wearing this thing, and I'm looking at him. He still has his hair. He still has his eyebrows, which, by the way, fall out with chemo. And I'm just wondering, like, is he just trying to cover his bald spot? Because he is going bald. He was going bald before any treatment ever happened. Stop it, Jamie. We can see it.
Just accept it.
I don't care how much you brush it over and put Grecian formula in it. We could see the top of your skull, dude. But I just got the feeling he's kind of playing it up. Is that wrong to even say?
Not to me.
I mean, maybe he does have big clumps that have fallen out already. I don't know, but it is amazing how quickly he put that bandana on. It's not like, your first chemo treatment, suddenly you're bald. It takes a while.
Yeah, it definitely takes a while.
But anyhow, I wanted to slap that bandana off his head. I can say that because I have cancer. There you go, Eagle. Eagle, did you watch this yesterday? So anyway, the guy opens, again, I forget the chairman. Sorry about that. And he's like, yeah, the stuff from the Twitter files, and you guys were actively working to shut down conservatives. And then Jamie gets up there and he opens with January 6th. There is something we should be talking about. January 6th. And he's, by the way, Jamie, it's a microphone, not a dick. You can move your face away from it.
But why would you want to stop him from doing what comes naturally to him?
Oh my God, he kept fucking peeking into the mic because he's right up on it going, oh, stop it, you son of a bitch. Somebody move that away from his face.
9-year-old kids on YouTube know how to back off their mic.
Congress people do not.
They really don't.
And yeah, it was driving me nuts trying to listen to him. There was one other person, I want to say it was a Democrat that I saw, because I only watched about 3/4 of it. So I didn't see everybody. Maybe a Republican did it. But there's one other Democrat who's right up on her mic. It was a she this time. Like, back up. They're made to pick up sound. You don't have to be right on top of it. So that's basically what this ended up being was, the Democrats being like, no, the only thing really important is January 6th. And the Republicans being like, no, what's important here is the Twitter files. We need to talk about this shit. And the three top officials there, Baker, Vijay, and Roth, didn't say very much throughout this. Very little of it. Most of it was just the Congress people getting up there and giving speeches for 5 minutes. But AOC is on that committee.
Nice.
If I wasn't on my daytime internet, we would be watching AOC right now. Because this fucking little idiot gets up there and kind of suggests that the New York Post article wasn't real, that it was fake. And Congress took lessons from a mic etiquette from Gutenberg. Look, Gutenberg puts his mic right up to his face, but he's got it covered so it doesn't peak when he says his P's and his T's and his S's and all that stuff. Gutenberg would have yelled at Jamie Raskin for the way he sounded. Because do not go on a stream with Gutenberg and have bad sound. He will fuck with you. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it to guests on my show. But anyway, yeah, did she sermonize again? She does later, because in Congress, you get 5 minutes for these question answer times. If you don't fill it up or somebody else, you think will do a better job, you'll say your little bit and then you cede your time to somebody else. Like several people on the Republican side gave their time to Jim Jordan because Jim Jordan is very good at this. A couple of people, or at least one person, gave some of his time back to AOC, and she goes into another little rant this is where she was more sermonizing. In the first part of it, though, she's basically just saying that the New York Post story isn't real. And like, sweetheart, Hunter's confirmed it's his laptop. There's nothing about it that's unconfirmed now.
But it's only half real. She says so, so it must be true.
Thank you, Frank. Saturday or Monday, possibly both, a coworker had a strike. Had a stroke. He went on strike by himself. Fuck you. Anyway.
He went on strike from stroking.
Saturday or Monday, possibly both, a coworker had a stroke. The mid-shift foreman refused to let him stay at work. He kept insisting he was fine. He's 66 and has 35.5 years with the company, so he can just retire. Should have years ago. Definitely couldn't hold office. Thank you for that, Frank. Yeah, I mean, when I worked at Walmart, there was a woman there who had a stroke, and she was so different afterwards. And when she first came back, she probably shouldn't have. She could barely speak. You could see she was confused a lot of the time. A couple years later, she's mostly back to normal. She's still definitely different if you knew her before and after. But yeah, she definitely should have rested more. Unfortunately, if you work at Walmart, chances are you can't miss a lot of work.
No, you get super punished for that.
Yeah, and you probably need it. You're not doing it just for fun. Doesn't Fetterman come from money?
I thought so.
Yeah. So
I mean,
anyway,
he is part of the Addams family. You know how loaded they are.
They've been around a long time, man. They're a dynasty almost. So anyway, yeah, AOC, her whole thing is basically saying that the laptop story is fake. Like, bitch, we know it's real now. There's no question. I mean, anybody who paid attention knew it was real from the beginning because it was heavily sourced. That's another. The Democrats kept going, this unsourced article. No, they actually talked to the guy who had the laptop. And this is what AOC, they wouldn't give anybody else the information. Rudy Giuliani tried to give that shit to everybody. And the rest of the press was like, yeah, we're not touching that. But she treats it like, yeah, they were being very cagey about it. They weren't letting anybody know. And I do see you guys over on Rumble. You guys can chat. I will. I'm paying attention to chat as best I can today because I don't have Jack here doing it for me. Jack probably won't be here, guys. He's got stuff to do. Just with the timing of the way the show went today, we're not going to be able to hook up. Thank you, Ben, for the feminist $12 movie idea from your last stream. Super Alien versus Super Predator. Back to the start I go to listen at 1.5. I'd watch that, honestly. Got the alien running around trying to kill a, really bad pedophile. I'd watch that.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Faithless said they begged to give it to everyone. They really did. They tried to give this to any news outlet that would take it, and they all turned it down. Like, nah, bro, this looks tampered with. And by that time, they already knew that the FBI had taken the laptop. They already knew. They had the receipt. They printed the fucking receipt for the computer to be repaired. Yeah, this unsourced article. I'm like, did you read the fucking thing? Because I did. I saw the sources. Sorry, I stepped on you there, Dax. What was that?
No, I don't think she can read.
Well, she's an idiot. And once what's his name? Racker Body. I forget his name. The guy who pretty much put her in office.
Oh, the one who didn't show up.
Well, no, he worked for her for quite a while. He was the one who recruited her to be a congressperson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't care too much about her beyond her, being the best donkey I've ever seen.
Saikat Chakrabarti. That's his name, right? Did I get it right?
Saikat checks your body. That's great.
Chakrabarti.
Checks your body. Got it.
But thank you, Jordan. He was very well versed in propaganda. Very well versed. And when he still worked there and she would get up in front of, get up there to do her 10 or 5 minutes, it was usually really good. And by really good, I mean persuasive. She was full of shit still, but it was persuasive. You see her right after he leaves and since then, and she tries to form her own sentences. It's just sad. It's just really sad. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Clarence. I I'm reading your last name, and is that real, or am I okay? Clarence, thank you. The only thing worse than cops, robot cops, and cyborgs. Whoops, I thought that said cyber frogs. I'm having a day, Dax.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Clarence. The only thing worse than cops, robot cops, and cyborgs are feds. Yes, feds should. We need to get rid of them.
Hey, RoboCop is a national treasure.
Yeah, RoboCop was cool. The first one, I haven't seen the rest. I haven't seen the reboot, and I never saw. Didn't they make a RoboCop too?
There was RoboCops 1 through 3, a TV show, a cartoon, and the remake, which fucked up bad.
I watched the first one. It's the only one I ever watched. It's the only one I really cared about.
You'd like to.
Did they make it more Hollywood?
They kill a kid.
Well, can we talk about that?
A kid who's a drug dealer.
I really hate the trope in any kind of entertainment, storytelling, where it's like, oh, we put a kid in danger, and they never actually kill a kid. Not that I want kids killed, but this is entertainment. Well, it's entertaining to watch kids die. It's fiction, is what I'm getting at. So you can do these kind of things, and you can actually have more intense, I guess is the word I'm looking for. More intense things. And instead they're like, no, you can never actually harm the child, because then people will understand kids get hurt sometimes.
Oh, they go full out.
If you go back, wasn't it the original Fallout where you could kill kids?
It was either 1 or 2. I think it was 1. Yeah, because I
And then
think
they
they
get
took it
rid
out
of
for
it.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get rid of it because, oh, no, man, and you can't shoot people in the balls anymore either, because that's nah, man, that's too far.
I'm sorry, if you want to like permanently debilitate a man in the middle of combat, you shoot off his balls. I mean,
Yeah,
don't do it, because that means you're a bitch. But yes, it's the most effective way.
I ain't gonna lie to you. In 1 and 2, I shot people's nuts all the time.
I mean, in the game, it's fine. I mean, it's
Yeah.
shit.
Thank you, Cybertaz. Clarence bought a. Oh, hang on, I got to switch over to the other one so I can read that. It's a bit longer than that's going to stay up there for me to read. Hey, at least my alerts are going off now. Cybertaz, thank you. Clarence Boddicker was played by that 70s show actor Kurtwood Smith, but RoboCop put a foot up his ass. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jack would have gotten the reference. Yeah,
I got it.
I apologize for not getting pop culture references sometimes, especially if you're going for like movies and stuff. I have on my list, I've never seen The Escape from New York and Escape from LA.
I know. Forgetting you're such a blasphemous. Oh.
But on Amazon this month, or at least for however long they have it, they have Escape from New York. So I am going to watch it. I'm finally going to sit down and watch it.
You have to watch one of the two. Watch that one.
Well, from what I've heard of the second one, look at Escape from LA. I mean, it's kind of a goofy movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of want to see that one because it does look entertaining as long as you're not taking it too seriously.
Bruce Campbell's in there for like 3 minutes.
Yes, I heard that. But I'd like there's several of them. If they pop up on Amazon, I'll be like, all right, now I'll watch it because I'm not going out of my way. You know what else is on Amazon this month? Rocky 4. Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I have the Rocky collection that has 1 through 5, although 5's not really a movie. But I'm still going to watch it on Amazon just because it's Rocky 4, damn it. Rocky 4 is a great movie. I love Rocky 4. Great soundtrack, emotional story. Apollo dies, man. It gripped me when that happened. And
yeah,
Rocky's
I mean, that was
face,
surprising.
Yeah. This is Kyle. Thank you. Hello, chat people, Monkey and Dax. As far as anime is concerned, kids are fair game when it comes to death.
That's why it's a superior medium.
Because they don't hold back. And you should be able to do that in fiction. Instead, they use it as a bullshit way to add tension to shit. We're going to steal a kid. And then Qui-Gon Jinn will come find it. Oh, okay. That's never been done before.
I like Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon wasn't around long enough for me to like him.
Yeah, but I read all the books.
Oh yeah, see, I don't do that shit. I don't read. I read news
Oh, I
stories,
know. I
man.
was gonna say the only thing you know how to read is the vitriol of the MSM.
Look, you put that shit on the internet, I'll read the fuck out of it. I read a lot. I just don't read books very often. Occasionally I will. Like if something pops up, I'll pay attention to it. But for the most part, I spend too much time reading as it is. S Cybertest, thank you. Sorry about the derailment. Fallout 1 had killing the kids patched out in 1.2, but there's a patch to get a Red Ryder BB gun from a kid at the first settlement. And of course, kill the kid on that one side mission if karma permits. Yeah, I knew they could kill kids in one of them. And again, it's not that I want to kill kids. That's not it. It's just,
But it's a realistic option. I
yeah.
see the little shit running around and they're calling me names and I'm playing an evil character. You don't think I'm gonna roast them with the dragon breath?
Right. Like I'm playing right now Legacy, right? Hogwarts Legacy. By the way,
You're a
excellent
Hufflepuff.
fucking game. What's that?
You're a Hufflepuff. I know you are.
That's what they tried to put me in, but I went Gryffindor.
I knew it, and I knew you should have done it too. It's rumored they have a quest that only they can do. By the way, it's rumored that they can go to Azkaban and nobody else can.
But there's also a quest that they can't do because of something with them, and it's probably because they get that one. I'm going to play this more than once, and I will probably play each of the different houses, just mostly to be able to be in their common room. Because I'm a nerd and I like that shit, okay?
The girls' common room.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm a dude. Put me in the girls' common room. I'm a happy guy.
Harry did not use the cloak of invisibility like he should have.
No, he shouldn't. He should have been in the girls' bathroom occasionally. The girls' shower, not the bathroom. You don't want to be in there and hearing him doing that.
He should have found a way to make Moni Myrtle's hands work.
Yeah. Give her a little bit of sentience back, a little bit of corporeal form, yeah. Body back, yeah. Fuck, what were we talking about?
I don't know. But now I'm thinking about Moni Myrtle in the shower.
Yeah, I was something to do with the game, and I forget what it was.
I called you basically a huffy bitch because you should have been a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, but it was before that I started talking about it.
I
know, because we're talking about being able to kill kids.
Oh yeah.
In the game, you eventually can learn the dark arts. You can learn the forbidden curses.
Mm-hmm.
And there's kids all over. I should be able to kill one of them.
I mean, technically, you're in a school. There are plenty of kids around.
Yeah. And in the final Harry Potter book, kids die.
All the time. Lead character kids.
They stayed away from the main characters having any of the younger ones die. But that's mostly because at that time, they've grown up already. They all went through school. So they're real close to being adults or are adults at that time. But they kill, is it Fred or George that they kill?
I forget which Weasley. It's been like 15 years since I've last read a Harry Potter book.
I've rewatched the last 3 movies. Actually, I've rewatched the last 4 movies now. As I was getting geeked up to play Hogwarts.
I haven't seen the last couple movies, to be honest. I missed out on them.
You can skip most of them, but you really should watch 7, both parts of it, because that's the only one they get right. Okay, I don't want to say it's the only one they get right, because they do a decent job of telling the story, even though they miss so much in each of them.
Well, to be fair, you kind of have to.
Well, the first movie is, other than missing some of the ghosts and stuff, it's pretty spot on, but that's because it was a really short book.
They didn't have the centaurs either, didn't they? I forget.
No, they kind of show them.
They were briefly there.
Yeah, and then they briefly come back in the one with Umbridge. I forget, what is that, 5 or 6?
Oh, I forget.
Because they run her off into the wilderness, but you don't really understand that part because they didn't explain it the way the books did.
One of them becomes a teacher, but I don't think that was in the movies.
It's not.
That makes me sad because he was cool.
But 1 is mostly faithful, and 7 parts 1 and 2, because they gave it so much time, is pretty faithful. They skipped some stuff, but they had to for time. But you should really watch 7. They did a pretty good job with it. Fred in the books and George in the movie, I think, or it's the other way around. Yeah, I can't remember. I know one of them dies, and I just don't remember which one.
It doesn't surprise me because it was meant probably to surprise people. It's like, oh, we expect this one to die, so we'll kill the other one.
Yeah.
But tell me you could tell them apart. Nobody could.
You kind of got to watch Half-Blood Prince before Deathly Hallows 1 and 2. Not if you've read the books. If you've read the books, you don't actually have to watch anyone, but for the spectacle and being able to see how well they got it, they did a really good job on 7. 5 pissed me off. 5 is the one with Umbridge, because that's the one that had because that's the Order of the Phoenix. Yes. There's so much in 5, and they had it in this 2-hour movie, that the way that they got you information was just flashing newspapers on the screen. And so you actually miss quite a bit because that's what they're doing. Fred Weasley dies in the Battle of Hogwarts. Okay, thank you. I knew one of them died. The only death that really bothered me in that was Hedwig.
I forgot Hedwig died.
Hedwig dies at the opening of that book because they're all polyjuiced up and look like Harry, and they're flying away. And somebody gets too close to Harry, and Hedwig comes in and takes a blast and dies. And I was sad.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't care about Dobby. Fuck that little kid. He was an asshole most of the time anyway.
Dobby has suck for, Dobby things.
Dobby. I didn't
know what he did to that sock. That sock is crusty.
And in the books, when Lupin dies, it's a lot more impactful because you learn more about him than you do in the movies.
Yeah, he seems like he cares about Harry a lot less in the movies.
He does, yeah. Where in the books,
good actor though.
Both Sirius and Lupin are, basically new dads for Harry. And you can't really convey that in the short amount of time they had. Anyway, this is Kyle. Thank you. I never got into Harry Potter, never watched past the second movie. My little sister really likes it, and I'm thinking of getting her the game. Would it be appropriate for a 10-year-old? From what I've seen so far, yeah, absolutely.
But Monkey, what about that person at the bar with the deep voice?
Oh God. Oh yeah. Should we talk about that?
We have to. We have to.
The wokeness in the game. Somebody in our chat the other day said that the person that they know who had been playing it complained a little bit about the pronoun usage. And I'm going to explain the pronoun usage to you guys. Okay. Oh, wait. Tim Pool Inc. got busted in HD. Can you DM me what you're talking about there? I'll check it out. But okay, so as you're walking around the school, you'll hear people talking about you, and they always say they. So there's even an interaction where you're by two teachers, and they keep saying they in reference to you. This is what happened there. So that you don't have to record all of that dialogue twice and say he and she because you can play as male or female.
It's called a shortcut.
They said they. I don't think that one is an example of them actually going woke. I think that's just saving time.
Yeah, it's been around for the longest. As soon as we got voice character choice, it's been a thing. You can't ignore it. You can walk into Skyrim and be like, yeah, you hear about this? Yeah, that person was doing this. Yeah, they were great.
Yep.
And you can be right next to them. It doesn't matter.
This is Kyle says, wow, that's lazy. It is, but recording takes a long ass fucking time.
Look,
and having to record
it's called money.
Yeah, and having to record that same thing over and over again just to get the pronoun right when you could say they, it just makes sense to say they. That part isn't woke. However, when you get to the 3 broomsticks, I forget the character's name.
No, there's a 4th broomstick.
Oh God. Yep, they have a trans bartender there in the 1800s.
It broke my immersion so much watching people do that. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm not hating on the character. I'm just like, wow, all of a sudden I'm just like, that's not what I expected, especially in the 1800s.
My favorite part of it is they obviously meant that to be a male character and they didn't change the voice.
Yeah.
So it's this chick, you see titties. Oh, we know. Okay. To whoever, Kyle, you can get it for your sister. It doesn't actually show boobies. You can tell they have boobs, is what I meant to say.
Just be aware it's a little bit harder than it seems.
It is a little bit harder than it seems. There's a lot of I actually like the combat because they made it difficult. It's not
it's like baby's first Elden Ring.
It really, I had that thought. As I was doing the one duel where I have to duel 4 people, I'm like, this is like it's like an introduction to Dark Souls.
Exactly. That's all I could think of when I was watching people play. I'm like, that I recognize that. I do that a lot. I roll all the time. That's Dark Souls.
I don't even roll all that much unless I absolutely have to. I prefer the blocking. But anyway, so you have this character that they shoehorned in at the last minute because they're trying to suck up to all the people who are like, J.K. Rowling hates trans people. It's I don't care, honestly. It's stupid. It doesn't make very much sense. Time period. It has nothing to do with whether or not you like trans people. It just makes no sense in the time period.
Now, the only way, and this is how I'm sure they're all going to justify it, is that it's a magic world. They probably took a potion. To which I say, if they really thought they were a woman, why didn't they change the voice?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the voice is the part that I just died laughing the first time I saw it.
Yeah, character model's fine. The idea of a person that's trans is fine, but not for the 1800s.
And then there's another one that I just got to not long ago in my playthrough, where you go and you meet this person and you have to help them. It's the Merlin chain for those of you who've been watching the game. And you meet this one professor and you help her kill some bad guys real fast. And then you start talking to her like you do in those kind of games. And she mentioned the person named Prius or something like that. I forgot. And you ask her, you mentioned Prius. And she goes, yes, that's my wife. And I'm like, okay, this is the 1800s. You just met this student. And one of the first things you tell them is that you're a lesbian. That's a little game or immersion breaking for me. Because again, time period. It makes no sense. I have nothing against lesbians. I get your lesbian on, do it. But this is the 1800s. If they had set this in the modern time, okay. But back then,
That's how I feel like when people try to put like a bunch of white people into like 600 AD Japan. It's like, no.
Yeah. Bubba asks, who ordained that marriage, right? This is Kyle. Thank you. Dark Souls. I must buy this game for myself immediately. The child will never get to play now. The combat system really is. It's reminiscent of it's not quite as hard as Dark Souls. You can make a lot of mistakes and still get away with it. I finished so many fights with just the tiniest little red on my health bar, where if I'd made one more mistake, I was dead. But in Dark Souls, I would have died like 6 or 7 times by that point. But it is very reminiscent. And I like it because it's a little bit more interesting. I can't play it on the controller. I tried. My brain has trouble hitting the trigger and like, okay, now I can cast my spell. Thank you, Massive. I'll check it out, bud.
I want to get it, but I'm not that monetarily inclined right now, and I got to be a little bit smart about my money for a bit.
I understand that. This was part of my Christmas money, so I spent it on a couple of games I wanted. And I do recommend it to people, but yeah, there's a little bit of wokiness in there. Stuff that just doesn't make sense. Like a lesbian teacher immediately telling a student they just met, yeah, I'm gay.
They would absolutely hide the ever-loving shit out of that. Because you're telling me that the other teachers wouldn't be as 1800s?
Well, they're all very
enlightened.
Yeah, they're enlightened. I do want to bang the herbology teacher.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna bang anybody, it's a plant chick.
Miss Garlic, hell yeah, she's cute as shit.
Garlic,
whoever did that model, well done.
Yeah, done. This is our sign of approval.
Faithless says I might pick it up in 2025 for $5. Huh. With the reaction this game has gotten, good luck with that.
It's going to be just like a Nintendo game. It's going to be 70 for the rest of its life.
Yeah, this game is not going to be one of those that 2 months in they're dropping it down to $30 to try to sell it like Borderlands 3.
It'll drop for like 10 or 15% at best.
Yeah.
Maybe 25 if they're looking at like a summer sale. But good luck.
Yeah. And by 2025, it might drop down to like the $30 price range. I doubt it, but it's worth it. Buy it on sale if you can get it. Buy anything on sale if you actually can.
Check G2A, man. They're always doing something.
Yep. But the game it is really good. And there have been rumors of glitches. I've only had one yesterday to access playing, and I actually had to turn the game off because it just started stuttering so badly and freezing up so badly.
I wonder why.
I turned it off, turned it back on. I had no problems.
I heard it's pretty stable for the consoles, but we're PC guys, so.
My only guess for it is that there's some kind of slight memory leak. I'd been playing for like 6 hours at that point.
That would make sense.
And that does happen in video games, especially if it's being built for console and they're not paying attention to the PC. What's the word? Specs, I guess. But for me to play 6 hours before that happened, that's not bad at all.
That's actually pretty good for a lot of high intensity games, and it's not like this is garbage. Yeah. There's a lot of great ray tracing.
Dark Resurrect, thank you so much. Are we really that surprised that it's woke? It just proves that you can never be woke enough. I'm just surprised we have actually attractive female models. And also thoughts on the chick saying that the African school is the biggest in the world. Thank you for that feminist $12. That part did make my brain just go. You've watched some gameplay on it, Dax?
Yes.
You meet this one, what's her name? Natty, I think, in the game.
Yes.
And she's telling you about where she came from, and she came from Wakanda. Let's be honest. She comes from Wakanda. And he asks her about the school. It's the biggest one in the world, and we don't even use wands. It makes no sense at all.
It's like, no, this is Africa. No. Nobody gets along.
It makes zero sense. It was just kind of stupid. I think that the people who wrote this, they're obviously got the wokiness going on, but it's not too bad. It's not over the top. It's just one of those things that when you hit it, you roll your eyes like, God damn it, and then just move on.
That's how I feel about most modern games. It's going to have a touch in there somewhere just to keep everybody happy.
Yeah, exactly. Mischievously inanimate. Thank you so very much. Completely random, but just found out my company sells sterile plant tissue culture grade water for $20 a liter, 1/4 gallon in correct units. This is the science version of organic, non-GMO. But hey, if people buy it, that's more money to my paycheck.
I will never spend $20 for a bottle of water.
Look, man, people will buy the dumbest shit if you tell them it's healthy for them. I
will not. Give me the goddamn Skittles. Oh, yeah, speaking of, for those who are a little disappointed I haven't had them lately.
Dark Resurrect says it's not unplayably bad. Yeah, there are games that the storyline is so woke, it's just like, I'm not even fucking finishing this. But this one is not. There's just a couple of things thrown in here and there. They send lightning bolts and decolonize science. No, it's really not that bad. It's really not. But yeah, people will buy the dumbest shit. One of the biggest scams in all of history is organic. This is organic. Is it better for me? No, but it costs a lot more and we can barely grow the shit. Thank you, Cast1. Memory leak, you mean stochastic terrorism? But this game is destroying communities. Like slightly toxic mods and users are becoming like the Hudson. Dude, the fallout of this game is probably the most interesting part of the story going on right now. The number of people that have lost their fucking minds over this game, that they're treating it like it is like Hitler himself made this shit. They're like, oh my God, that one. Jack did a reading of that one thread, didn't he? He did that last night. Did you see the thread I'm talking about, Dax? This guy writes like a 500 thread tweet about how if you play this, you're a bad person because you're supporting a bad person, which makes you a bad person. And hey, did you know you're a bad person?
I mean, I am a bad person, but not for the reasons they're saying.
Faithful says it's the new Trump derangement syndrome. It really is. Look, we've seen this kind of stuff in games before where, hey, you shouldn't support that. We've seen it in games, comics, movies, all kinds of shit. I've never seen one this unhinged before. They are so mad that they were not able to cancel J.K. Rowling. J.K. is on their side on like 99.9% of issues.
Yeah, they're doing that thing again. Even the conservatives are doing that thing again where they're like, oh, she's one of us. No, she's not.
She's with you on, she's an actual TERF. She is a radical feminist. That's that. I get called a TERF, which is funny because I'm not a radical feminist. I'm not a feminist at all.
No, but you like turf. Haha.
I like surf and turf.
Also, stop what you're saying right now, Bubba. You are the maddest lad I've known in a long time, my friend. I have something to play later.
What up?
You got me the game.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a fun game, Daxie.
Again, you are the GOAT, Bubba. I wish
Bubba's
you all
good
the non-deaths in Phasma, and it's only going to be Monkey for the next 5 days.
That's hurtful. Well, we don't play again for 5 days.
That's why it's not going to happen.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, by the way, the reason that we switched up the order of this is because I really wanted to, I love playing Phasma with Bubba. I really, really do. If you guys don't watch us play, you really should come on.
It's fun to watch. Those who aren't, you guys are really missing some of the funniest stuff. Like Monkey freaks out like so often.
I do. I'm a giant baby. But we only get 2 days a week to play together because he has one of them jobs. And like, no, I'm not missing this. So we did that first. I that's the first thing I did when I'm like, okay, it's time to stream. I reached out to Bubba, like, are you awake? Can you play? And yeah, so I don't often put the video game channel above this one because honestly, this is the one that lets me buy my ramen noodles and actually have some kind of food.
Ramen.
Hey, leave me alone.
Just get skills.
But if it's for my enjoyment, yeah, I'm going to do that every time. We will be playing some more of the Harry Potter game over there in a couple. When I say we, I mean me and those who watch along. But we'll be playing Harry Potter after this show. The fallout from this, Dax, man. We've seen the culture wars in full swing. We're like getting ready for Normandy on that shit, right?
Yeah.
It's time for the Normandy invasion of the culture war because we got to stop this shit. Anybody who's avoiding the game because of wokeness, the game is, like I said, this game is not that bad. It really isn't. Compared to most these days, it is tame as shit in the woke department. The outrage around it, that's where all the wokeness is. That's where all that nonsense is.
So from what I've been watching and what I get to now play, thank you very much again, Bubba. When you're playing it, you're not, it's like noticing like a person around you who's like woke, just chiming in their opinion once in a while. It's like, it's coming, you can ignore it. And 90% of the time you're still going to have fun.
Yeah. Like with the lesbian woman I run into. Yeah. Look, it's the 1800s. That shouldn't happen, but it's a very minor thing that's just mentioned once, clearly just thrown in for the woke point. But you can ignore it completely. I did the gay marriage quest in WoW. That sounds familiar.
I forgot about that.
Thank you, Cast One. The Hudson bathroom in Dead Space really weirded me out. I know they say this is the future that we need, but like, I don't want to be in a bathroom with women for my safety. If I'm not there, I can't be accused of shit, doubly if I'm a minor or laborer.
Hey, I actually can accuse you of shit depending on what number you're going.
That's fair. I don't want to be in a bathroom because there's let's just do unisex. Nuh-uh. Because one, Dax, I don't, shit in public unless I absolutely have to.
Oh, you and I are on the same page. We don't like other guys being around us when we're using the restroom.
No, I don't. I just like my toilet.
It's a private space.
We have 2 bathrooms in this house. I only use the one downstairs if I have to go number 2, because the other one doesn't feel right when I sit on it.
That's true too. You can't tell me that guys don't have a preference for seats.
Right. And you get your toilet. It's almost the Al Bundy thing, right?
Oh my God. I was so happy for him when he had his toilet.
Yeah. His Ferguson. Thank you, Cast One again. Unisex bathrooms, including showers. All right. Here's the thing with yeah. Like, I get to see some titties from, yeah. But you also get a smell when that really hot chick has to take a dump.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You get to hear her sound like a man in there. You don't want that.
We all think it's going to be that scene from Starship Troopers, but it's not how that works.
No, You made my Ferguson into Fergie. I love that episode. And he goes to use the bathroom at the truck stop, and the other guy breaks it. Anyway, we have the man's urinal law. Yes, and all men know it. We're not even taught that law.
You do not stand right next to somebody when there's an open urinal ever.
Nope. You make sure that there's space. But what I was getting at, I don't want to, go into Walmart one day like, oh God, something I ate yesterday. Now, okay. And I run into the bathroom and there's some hot chick there. I'm like, oh God, I have to do this with her in here. My wife doesn't come into the bathroom when I am using it.
And think about these bad, like worst case scenario things. Like, what if you and somebody you're crushing on, you have to use the restroom, they have to use the restroom, and now your entire world is destroyed.
Yep. She gets to hear your taco farts, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Cast One, thank you again. Hey, 1800s had cool lesbians, not like today. I mean, before that, we had a lesbian pirate that kidnapped her lovers, took a ransom for them, and kept the girl and the money. Until the 1990s, lesbian teachers wouldn't come out as lesbian because they'd get fired. That's just the reality of the world.
And that sucked. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah. I must be a man. We have 3 bathrooms. I only use one. I have the theory that most people only use one bathroom in their house, no matter how many they have.
I mean, she's the queen. I mean, they know better than to try to ascend the throne.
Indeed. I can tell. We moved a lot, Daxie. And one of the worst parts of moving was I had to learn a new toilet.
The new bathrooms.
Yeah.
It was finding exactly where you want your bed and finding the proper way to sit and shit.
Yes. That's a real thing, man.
Those are your 2 concerns. As a Navy brat, that's the only things I'm worried about.
Cudweiser says, even the ancient Greeks were gay, so what? It's not about whether they're gay or not. It's about whether or not they would be this open about it in the time period. And they just wouldn't. Again, it's not that big of a deal in the game. But if we're going to talk about where the woke spots are, it's definitely one of the woke spots. There's no getting around that. I'm a lesbian. Thanks. Can we get back to the quest?
Yeah, grats. Anyway, so moving on to getting that stuff I need.
And, when you go to the 3 broomsticks, they don't make any big deal about that being a trans person.
Other than her sounding like Dr. Girlfriend.
Right. And except for her having my voice, they make no real mention of it other than say she's good people and she helps keep the bad guy off of you at that time.
You want to know how I can easily prove how we really don't give a shit in the long run? I mentioned Dr. Girlfriend. Did you watch The Venture Brothers?
I did not.
Okay. Well, Dr. Girlfriend, who I'm assuming you've seen before, is a very sexy looking, like nurse wearing woman who has the voice of a old smoker male.
Yeah, and I know who it is. Yeah.
So yeah, after a while, you don't even notice, and you just think of Dr. Girlfriend as the girl. So as long as you're not bringing it up to the forefront every 2 seconds and making that their only personality, you don't give a shit.
No. And again, I don't know if you watch Always Sunny. Always Sunny, the final, the last season 15, they did such a really good job with taking down the whole identity thing, because Mac is gay and he's Irish and everything is about what is his identity. And the final episode of that season, I mean, they just destroy him completely on all of this shit. And it's funny, but Mac's been gay for a while and nobody cares. Every so often he'll make a joke about a hot guy or something. Nobody cares. It's not that anybody hates gay people, but there is a time and a place. And if you're talking about the 1800s, you're not going to have a teacher telling a new student that they've never seen before about how much they like to lick their girl. It would not have happened. And this happens a lot in media where it's like, okay, it's not that we don't like this. This happened. What was the Battlefield with the chick on the front?
Which one?
It's set in World War II, and there was a big hubbub about it when it comes out, and they're like, "What?"
Oh yeah, what the fuck was the name of that game?
It was one of the Battlefields. I just don't remember which one.
Remember the name of the. Yeah, suffice to say, we all know what we're talking about here. She had the hook end, and she was so powerful and strong. Like, yeah, that doesn't happen.
Battlefield 5, thank you. Yeah, it just would not have happened. And it's okay for us to want some realism and shit. They could have taken that teacher, right? And just have her over the course of this keep mentioning this one person and never actually give it away that, my partner is my wife. My wife is what she says. In the 1800s, kiss my ass. Kiss my ass.
She would have called her a friend, and you would have
Yeah.
heard that word a lot.
Yeah. My wife was just watching a documentary about these two lesbians who've been together forever, who had like just come out to their family a couple of years ago. They're old lesbians. They're like in their 60s or 70s or something like that. They've been together since their 20s, and nobody knew. I mean, everybody knew, but they never announced it. That's what used to happen. So you can do that in a way that is still respectful to, it's almost disrespectful to lesbians and gay people to do this shit.
Yeah, it implies they never had a struggle.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Again, I don't mind it because in the game it's that fast. Man, I didn't snap very well. That fast.
See, this is why in this world we use wands.
Yeah. It most of it is just silliness that doesn't have to be there. But like again, the they thing is just a way to save time and save recording and save money. The broomstick chick, you barely even interact with her, and they don't make a big deal about her having a broomstick underneath her skirt.
I mean, I am, because it's funny. That's
it is funny.
funny.
Somebody in my chat yesterday said, shouldn't that be called the hidden broomstick?
That joke is funnier than mine.
That isn't a good joke. I love it. I forget who said it, but that was funny as shit.
Find out who you are. Speak up. We'll give you credit.
Yes, please speak up because that was funny. It was somebody who was new to my chat yesterday in the game. Good way to explain this would have been
too.
An experimental potion that didn't work quite well, changed everything except the peen and voice.
It could have been a way to put it to the forefront. It's like, yeah, I always wanted to be a woman, and I tried it. It just didn't work properly. If they were going to make it a recurring character,
Yeah, I'm just happy that they didn't reference it. It was a non-starter in the game, and it had no effect on it other than, why does that chick sound like me? That it's not like she comes around the bar and she's, facing off against Rooknut or whatever his name is, and Voldemort. Let's be okay. It's not like she's standing there in her skirt and you see a big bulge in the front of it or anything.
They could have gone the opposite way, where she just went around and hugged everybody close to her chest all the time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it doesn't much matter to me the way it is in this game. But we played other games where it's like, Jesus Christ, they're beating you over the head with a stick with it.
Even Borderlands did that, and you know how much I love Borderlands.
Borderlands 3, the gayness in that, like, really, turn that shit down.
Everyone was gay. If you thought somebody was cool looking or hot, that's like, nope, I have a boyfriend if I'm a guy and a girlfriend if I'm a girl.
Yep.
Even Tina, I mean, we all knew she's the only plausible one I can imagine having multiple like different genders and attractions, because I'm pretty sure she would fuck a rocket. But
sure.
She's the only one other than Hammerlock I even think of when I think, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Cass1, thank you. They have turn into other people potions though. Yeah, she could have made a polyjuice potion trying to be a chick, and then it fucked up somehow.
Yeah, that's gonna be my headcanon.
Well, actually, with polyjuice potion, your voice doesn't change. So yeah. It was a man who drank a potion to blend in the women's locker room. Turns out not reversible.
Hey, a lot of guys will find that a plus.
It's the fucking lunatics around it, though, man. They're all the woke ones. They're the one causing the problems here.
Right.
And always.
If you can't joke about it, that means you fear not being able to have any freedom of thought of the situation.
Look, dude, I won't joke about very much. I was very nuanced in my joking over on Twitch, because you make the wrong joke over there, they'll kick you out.
Yeah, it's Twitch. They're Gestapo for games.
Yeah, be very careful if you're on Twitch and playing this game. Do not make jokes about gay, lesbian, trans. Do not do it.
Everyone on the safety council is, one of them. So
yeah,
and I don't mean it's one of them. No, I mean one of them. Those activist cocksuckers who just get in the way of everything.
One of us.
Yeah, they want to Google my gobble.
Isn't every character in Overwatch gay or something? I know they were turning them gay.
They ruined Soldier 76. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah,
it was cool when him, he was Farrah's dad, but no, now it's fucked.
And again, I don't mind gay characters. It's fine. Just don't make that the only thing interesting about them. Don't beat people over the head with it. Just if you're gonna have them in there, have them in there. I've said this many times. One of the things I love about the show Family or Modern Family, except for the last 2 seasons, even though they're clearly gay, the gay couple, it's not just look how gay we are. In fact, they make jokes about it, defamatory jokes about it.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons definitely tried to turn that backwards.
Oh god, the last 2 and they introduced the trans kid. It's just stupid.
I fucking hated the trans kid. I hated the way they presented. Let me rephrase that. The trans kid.
Yeah. The first several seasons are fucking great. I think it's like up through season 5 or something like that. Fucking great. Funny as shit. I love that show. And then it goes just to shit because the wokies got in there.
Ed and Sophia make that show for me.
Mm-hmm. I love Phil. Phil tries
Phil's
so
fun.
hard.
He's such a cuck.
He tries so hard, but he's a bitch.
He's so good. I like that actor. He always gets to play that role where he's like trying to be like the helpful guy, and he's just getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. I like his wife, Claire, but not for her character. She's in the age range where I really find women hot.
You also, have an affiliation for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I can't help it. The blonde married to the blonde, or the dad married to the blonde. Yeah, it's Phil.
That's Phil. Yeah.
I love the ranch episode where they go to the dude ranch.
The fucking ranch! I can't believe it's been a while since I watched the show.
And what's Ed O'Neill's name in that show? Well, you just said it.
Now I'm trying to blank.
Fuck.
You do this to me all the time where we're having like a conversation and I'll be like, we were just talking about this. Why do I not remember it? I'm the one who said it.
But anyway, the character played by Al Bundy is Phil's father-in-law, and he keeps saying Phil is, and the way he says it is Phyllis, and it's just funny. You have to watch the show if you've never seen it. Seriously, I don't get Jay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't give you a lot of recommendations because I know everybody has their own things. I promise you, the first couple of seasons of that show is funny as shit.
It's worth the watch.
And you will think, oh my God, wokey stuff, especially the very first episode where the gay couple, they adopt a baby and Jay, they're all worried about how he's going to take it. And he's just like, yeah, this is my family.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's how most people would be. They have this thing that they're trying to still push. Like, if I come out as gay, my family's going to hate me. Meanwhile, society is so okay with gay now that you have gay people come out and be like, how come when I come out, nobody celebrates it? Because nobody cares.
All right, let's just be perfectly honest about it. You're going to have, if you're like a father or a mother who, wanted progenies, you're going to be a little disappointed. You can't stop yourself from being disappointed. But most people aren't going to throw their kid to the curb for it. And yeah, there are people who do it.
I was watching BX Beast Boy. He did a video recently where he went over 4 liberals who did reviews of Tom McDonald songs.
I love Tom McDonald.
Oh, I love Tom McDonald. And one of them was Vaush, and he covers the line in what is it? Is it Dummies?
Stupid.
Is it Stupid?
Pretty sure it's Stupid. The song's awesome. It's not stupid.
Well, anyway, in the one line, he says, I don't want my son to grow up to be my daughter. And like, why not? Would you hate it? It's not about hating him. You still love your child.
You have expectations.
Yeah.
You have dreams. You have hopes and aspirations. And you have to modify that as you go on. But that doesn't stop you from having them.
I don't know. I got a weird one for that from my mom. Tried to convince people I was gay for like 20 years because I wouldn't date the woman she tried to set me up with. All of them fat. Your mom tried to convince people you were gay because you wouldn't date fat chicks?
You should have just come out and said, Mom, I just don't like fat bottom girls. They do make the world go around.
Faithless says that line's from Dummies. I thought so.
Is it Dummies? I thought it was called Stupid. Man, I'm fucking stupid. I don't know.
Well, I remember my thumbnail I made for it because I was doing, reviews of his thing until YouTube started their shut down your stream for reviewing shit. Fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Tom McDonald's given full permission for people to review his videos and stuff because he's smart enough to realize that gets him more attention.
Mm-hmm.
And
the fact that they're good.
They are good. I like Tom. I really do like Tom McDonald. He's when I first heard him, I was like, eh. And then Nuts suggested him again. It was with it was Brainwashed, right? And I watched and I was like, all right, I got to listen to more.
My brother introduced me to him. I don't
Really?
usually listen to my brother's like stuff unless I'm already listening to it, but he's like, you got to listen to this, and he's got all like the signed albums in the car, and it's like, oh man, this is fucking awesome.
I have signed albums from him.
Like he doesn't even like political stuff. Like he never really watched our stuff when I was on here more often. I mean, he's supportive, but he just doesn't give a shit. And that's the last thing I expected him to be listening to, was something with somewhat of a message to it.
This is Kyle. Thank you. It was a shock. It was shock when a gay friend came out in high school, told me his parents disowned him because he was gay. That was back in 2013. Again, look, it doesn't mean that it never happens, but it's not like it was in the 80s where like you did not tell people that you were gay because you go away now.
Unless you lived in California, you never said a word.
Now people come out and everybody's like, so?
Yeah, so what? Just don't touch my pole. I don't give a shit.
When my sister came out to me, she's like, I have something to tell you. I'm like, oh, okay. She goes, I'm a lesbian. I'm like, yeah, and?
Yeah, I like girls too. What's the difference?
She's like, you don't have anything to say? I'm like, it'd be cool to talk to you about hot chicks. What?
Can you bring some of your straight friends over?
You're my sister and I love you. And what makes you happy is fine. I don't give a shit. Now, that does not mean I don't have opinions about stuff. This is a thing that gets misconstrued. It is okay to be like, I don't really care about that, on adults being adults. I don't care. But then still be like, this shouldn't be pushed on children, which it absolutely is. Whether
sure.
Gay or trans especially right now, they're really trying to make all kids trans. That it doesn't belong anywhere near children. Leave them alone. Let them grow up and find out for themselves.
The worst thing they should be worried about is getting cooties.
Yes, exactly. And you got to get the cootie shot or something happens.
Yeah, and then they got to dodge your heat-seeking kiss goodbye every morning when you let them out of the car to go to school.
We never did the whole cooties thing when I was a kid.
I wasn't stupid enough to do it. Although I was dumb enough to flip somebody off on accident when I had a cut on my finger and his bandages. I'm like, hey, look what happened. And I flip her the bird. And she told on me and I got in trouble. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. It just hurts.
I got in trouble. I did not know what the word was. And I actually have 3 foster sisters. We don't really count the one. But the other 2 are biological sisters. And the older of the 2 heard me say bastard. We lived in Chicago at the time. I didn't know what the word meant. I'd heard people call people that, so I called my friend a bastard. And I got in trouble for it. And I told my mom, like, I didn't know what it meant. She goes, yes, you did.
I'm like, they never believe you when you try to tell them that. It's like, no, Mom, I really don't.
I'll tell you what, when I called people a bastard after that, I knew it meant something bad. And yes, I did start saying it on purpose, just not where anybody who would tell on me would hear it.
Yeah, because it's a word that's fairly descriptive and it's the right purpose to use it.
Yeah.
Like you're a dumb
I got my mouth washed out with soap, and then I got spanked because I blew bubbles with it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Apparently, Mom didn't think that was as funny as I did. It was funny as shit. My siblings all laughed. Mom did not.
Oh, we never got the soap. It was 3 hard spanks. You stand in the corner for 10 minutes.
Oh, God, I hated standing in the corner.
That's the worst because I have ADD, and as a kid, it was very prominent. So I'm just staring at the wall, and I was always so just dejected.
I didn't know what to. It's probably why I'm able to entertain myself so easily. I spent a lot of time in the corner. When I hit that chick in the head with the shovel, I was probably in that corner for an hour and a half.
Damn.
Mom told me I wasn't coming out until I apologized. I was like, I didn't do nothing wrong. She knew the rules of the game. And so yeah, I stayed there. And then she told me that I would not get out until I apologized. And they were getting ready to leave. So that meant I would be there until they came back next time. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. It wasn't until I was a grown-up that I realized what I did wrong there. It's not like she agreed, like she came up with the idea for the game. That would have been different. It was my idea. When I was a kid, they could still spank and other corporal oh, dude, I got spanked in school, but only in, first and second grade. We went to a private school. California had outlawed corporal punishment in public schools, but you could still do it in private schools. And we went to a very religious school. Went to a Baptist school. And I broke my flag. I got spanked twice in there. We had these little flags, Dax,
Mhm.
and they crossed each other in this little little holder. And if you had a question, what you do is you take one of them out and put it up there. Like one was for if you had to go to the bathroom, and the other was for like if you had a question about your work. And I accidentally broke my American flag because one was the American flag and the other one's the Christian flag. And I had one at home. So I just brought the one from home. But I didn't realize as a child that there's a difference from the plastic one that they gave me and the one that had the wooden stick that I had, which gave me away. And I got in trouble for lying. I didn't lie. Well, you didn't tell us about it, but I got spanked for that. And then the other one I got spanked for, my friend Jimmy, my best friend, he wanted to play basketball and I didn't want to play basketball. And he called me a coward and I beat his ass. And then I got my ass beat. And that's how Monk got his kink shaming for spanked by nuns. No, we didn't have nuns. It was Baptist. Our principal of the school, I still remember her name. That was Miss Birch. She had butthole lips.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because she had butthole lips. And she'd wear brown lipstick.
Ugh.
Yeah. And I'm 5, 6, and 7 when I go to this school, and I was traumatized for life by Miss Butthole Lips. I hate that bitch. I just remembered I have a story similar to Monkey smacking the girl on the you smacked some chick in the head with a shovel, Bubba?
I smacked the girl on the shovel, so she must have been standing on it.
Yeah, that's what shouldn't stand on shovels.
Yeah.
Rambler says, "Ooh, I'm eating." Look, I didn't make the bitch have butthole lips. That's God did that to her.
Now you can't make fun of people with butthole lips.
Sounds like Monk was a dirty little bastard. Look, I've said this many times. I was spanked almost every day that I can remember until I was about 13. And I deserved all but one of them.
He started smiling at 10.
I spent a lot of time in the corner. I got my mouth washed out more times than I could tell you about. I was a bad child. I do not know how my mother didn't kill me.
Laws.
Probably, yeah. I don't know how my mother loved me. How about that? None of my children were as bad as me. She always wished that the mother curse. I hope you have 3 children just like you. Did you ever get that as a kid, Dax?
No, I got called a failure a couple times.
Oh, yeah. Mom never did that to me. She just beat me but okay, I say beat. She spanked me. I was not beaten as a child.
See, well, when you were younger, and even when I was younger, that was what we called it. We got beat. Now, if you say that, CPS comes over and takes you away.
You got a whooping. But I deserved it. And without it, I would probably be in jail. Honestly. There's people in chat who don't like when I talk about corporal punishment stuff. But honestly, I was a bad child. I had bad ideas all the time and never stopped to think about what would happen. I had a problem with that as a child, Dax. I still have a problem with that.
That's I don't think things haven't changed.
Yeah, I mean, these days I do think about it and then I'm like, fuck it, it's funny, so I still do it, but that's different. I actually know that there might be consequences. I needed to be taught. I needed somebody to be like, no. And you go, oh, you could have just put him in timeout. Again, I spent a shit ton of time in corners when I was a kid.
That's just probably time to plot your next plan.
Yeah, I would sit there thinking about what I was going to do when I get out. Like, yeah, go ahead, Mom. Try to control me.
Hey, Campbell said virtually the same thing. It's like, if I'm in the corner, it's maybe a better criminal, so I learned not to get caught the next time.
Yeah. Eagle says, I agree, but my mom took her problems out on me. Look, and I know that happens. There are parents who didn't do it right. I'm very lucky that my mom had been abused as a child, so she was very sensitive about that. And yeah. But just because there's some bad apples out there doesn't mean that it's not needed for some kids, man. I can't tell you the number of kids when I worked at Walmart, that kid needs his ass whipped.
Oh yeah, the Walmart bastards, they need a good whooping.
Oh man, when we were doing a major remodel, we ended up in a big empty section of the store. And oh, thank you, Doc. Monkey has big PP energy. I was just a little bastard, man. I really was.
As funny as it is, it only reminds me of that song. I have to listen to that song so many times a goddamn day.
Mom used to keep receipts and pull them out and say she'll return me. Nice.
That's awesome. I really hope that. I mean, I don't hope that's a real thing, but I hope the intention was there.
My mom didn't have receipts. She said, I brought you into this world. I can take you out. My mom used to threaten to kill me. That's something that was said to kids when I was a child. And if you think about that, that's your parents threatening to kill you. I brought you into this world. I can take you out. I don't think that's how the law works, Dad.
Yeah, it's the ones who didn't say it that you knew were going to jambonnet you.
Yeah. I had a great childhood, though. For all of this that I talk about, I mean, I really did have a great childhood. Up until everybody started dying. But yeah, I had a great childhood. I played all the time. My mom made sure we were fed and spoiled. And yeah, I was just a bad kid that needed to learn. I also would take the blame for my brothers from time to time. Me and my little brother, we'd stay up way too late talking. And Mom would hear us. And of course, Frankie, come down here. Like, all right. So I come down. Is your brother up? Like, no, I was just talking to myself. I didn't get spanked for that. She said, go to bed now or I will kill you. Yes, ma'am. So yeah. I was sitting with Dad by my mom. Dad just looked at me and I knew that what was coming and I always earned it. Yeah. See, Mom would look at me and I wasn't smart enough to understand that, like, well, maybe it's funny. That'll get a child into more trouble than anything else. I think this is funny. I'm going to do it. Anyway, I was a little Walmart bastard, even tried to use the child leash once, never again. She said it was like trying to leash a cat. Wow. I was good in stores. In stores, I did not act up because Mom's rule was don't let them think I let you act like that. And that meant if you got in trouble in the store, you're getting a spanking when you came out. I learned that very young. Very, very young.
We didn't get Happy Meals if we acted up. And that was our reward for having to put up with my mother shopping.
Oh, nice. That's nice, though. I mean, if you have a good thing you can do like that. It took threats of I'm going to whip your ass if you don't stop it.
After a while, my parents stopped yelling at me for being awake after 10. They're like, fuck it, we can't control him.
Well, there were times that Mom was okay with it. Do you know who the Everly brothers are?
Of course I do.
Well, depends on who you talk to, what they know. For those of you who don't know, the Everly brothers are a singing group from the 50s, 60s. And Mom was a huge fan of them. They were having a little reunion concert on HBO. And I used to sneak down the stairs, Dax, and I'd watch TV from the staircase. And Mom caught me that night. And instead of sending me back to bed, she had me come sit on the couch with her and watch. And it's one of my favorite memories. And that's why the Everly brothers, even as goofy as the music is, because it's 50s music. It's silly and fun. But I love them. I always listen to them if I can. Monkey has me slapping people. Who are you slapping?
I mean, everyone deserves a slap.
Had a sister who was a professional baiter. She would prod us until we snapped and attacked, just as our parents were walking in, making us look guilty, earning us a spanking. Look, I got a lot of those because my little brother was an instigator. Oh, my God. And Mom never believed me until she caught him once. She caught him once, and he got the spanking instead of me that time. And I'd already punched him. When my little brother would upset me, I'd punch him in the ribs. Because that's who I was at the time, Dax. I'm not proud of it. I feel bad about it now that we're grown up. But he used to sit there and just fucking annoy me on purpose. He was an instigator, and then I beat his ass, and I'd get spanked for it. I deserved to get spanked for it because he did not deserve to get punched for what he did. But he did start it. And then after that, Daxie, mom would ask what happened and actually listen. She never believed me until she saw it. She thought I was a liar. I'm not a liar. I've never been a liar. I'll tell you what I did. Anyway, you blocked Slam on Twitter?
Who did I block?
Says, oh God, Dax is on. He blocked me on Twitter because he wouldn't stop being autistic. What'd you do?
I don't know who that is.
Me neither.
And I don't care. If I blocked you, it's because you're an idiot.
My brother told me he hated me once, right as I said it back. Mom walked in. Guess who got it? Oh, yeah, man. Brother Monkey was a habitual line stepper. Oh, man, he was such a little pain in the ass. I told you before, when we grew up, years later, we're in our 20s or something, he asked me, he goes, how come you guys never let me do, or you never included me in the bad stuff you did? Because you would have told. Because you were a little snitch. And he really was. To get him, he was that kid that to get out of trouble, he would be like, Frank did this. And then it'd piss off my parents at me and they'd forget about him. Plus he was the miracle baby, which, look, I'm glad the doctor saved him, but that doesn't mean he's infallible, Mom. Dax was wrong about magazines and clips.
He's mad because I say words have meanings, and he's like, it's just a colloquialism, it's just slang. And I'm like, no, clip is the incorrect word, and he wanted to keep coming at me, so I blocked him.
Oh yeah, clip is that there is an actual clip. It's just not what most people call a clip because they watch movies and they're like, that magazine's no, it's a magazine, and a clip is the kind of thing that they use like on the M1 Garand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're two totally different things.
Yeah, he was just mad that I like words that mean what they mean.
And I'm always going to be on your side on that because words having meaning is important.
It is. That's why we were so against people changing the definition of like bigot and stuff like that. It's like you changed the meaning so it suited you, not because that's what the word meant.
Yeah, indeed. I'm just happy you're on because we don't get to talk enough.
No, we don't.
Yeah. Daxie is old OG on this show, man. You've been around almost since the beginning.
Oh, I was here for the first MITAM.
Yeah. So Daxie's old school. How are things, by the way? What kind of games are you playing these days? Well, I guess now Harry Potter, but other than that,
a lot of Elden Ring. I got over my anti-Souls hatred, and I played Elden. I'm like, this is fun.
I see. For me, I can understand the fun of it and everything, but the fact that it is so solely, I can't bring myself.
It's not as painful as my first experience in the Souls universe, which was Dark Souls 2, I believe.
Oh God.
Yeah, I had to turn it off.
I enjoyed Dark Souls 1. It was fun. And then Dark Souls 2, I fucking hated. My son, his favorite of the series is Dark Souls 2, and I'm like, where did I go wrong?
I liked watching the X play 3. That was fun.
3, I liked 3. 3 was a decent return to 1 with enough to make it its own game. But by then I was so turned off the series because of 2. And I'm just like, I get the appeal of the games. They're just not for me. And that's fine. It's not for me. And that's why with like Elden Ring, what was the other one? Oh, fuck. The Asian sounding one.
Oh, well, there was Neo and there was Sekiro. Oh, there was also that, what the fuck is the name of that other one? The one that everybody like jizzed their pants for.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it started with a T.
Not Sekiro.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes, that's the one. I see the appeal of it, but it's another one of those games like, when you tell me it's like Dark Souls, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, see, I thought about that. Then somebody explained it to me a little bit better. Like, well, you got Code Vein. I'm like, yeah, I know that's a Soulsy game, but it's like, yeah, now think about that and think about like older games like Onimusha. And I'm like, that is a lot like that. It was a very punishing game. You had to make sure that your strikes were at the right time or you got your ass kicked. I guess I can give it a shot.
Ghost of Tsushima didn't feel Souls-like though. I'll take your word for it. It's one I won't play because of that though.
I mean, I might give it a shot someday. But
Rodline, thank you so much. My 6 older brothers told me they were sending me to China, so they put me in a cardboard box, drove me around in the back of our van, then threw the box in the pool. Wow, your brothers were hardcore.
That's cool though. If I had a car, I probably would have done that to my brother.
As long as you didn't tape it shut, because you could drown your brother that way.
No, you got to put air holes in there,
so the water gets in. I mean, that is funny, but that's fucked up.
Yeah.
The
other game I was playing is actually 7 Days to Die, but Darkness Falls.
Oh, how do you like Darkness Falls?
I love it. It's brutal, but if you have a good idea what you're doing, and once you figure out that, how they like toss a whole bunch of like schematics at you, even the ones you've learned over and over again for some reason.
Sure.
Well, they take that same mechanic and incorporate it in Darkness Falls. And instead, you turn them into like these pieces of special paper that you can combine with like paper, quill, and some ink, making black dye extremely valuable, by the way, to help you learn a class. So you produce these books, you become more of a jack of all trades. But I like it because it makes you in a group. It makes you important at the time because only you are good at something.
Right.
And yeah, everybody needs to get like farming if you're going to play Soul. That's a guarantee. So find a crack a book and just go crazy.
Yeah, I still can't bring myself to play Darkness Falls. I've seen people play it. I understand why they like it. I'm a vanilla player.
Oh, I still like vanilla. Don't get me wrong. I'll still play vanilla any day if somebody says so. The best part about the mods is that because we use it through the manager, I think most people have to. But what it does is basically make a copy of the game, and you load it up, and you can still invite your friends to play it as long as they have the mod. But it doesn't destroy your old save files on your original game, so you can still go back and jump between the two. So it's great.
I'm very curious what's going to happen to Darkness Falls with 21.
They're trying to prep for it as well as they can, but as long as they treat it as a separate game, I think it won't do anything to your current files. Like you'll still be able to play Darkness Falls if you want as Alpha 20 version.
Yeah, one of the things I do love about them, they're one of the few games that has like maybe not all, but a lot of the old patches where you can still play them. I cut my teeth on 16 in there, and you can still go back and play 16 if you want. If that's the version that you liked, just go into your files there and pop that one up, and you can still play it. Not many games allow you to do that, and some games, especially if they're in the alpha stage like this, which is technically a beta, they just call it an alpha. They change so much. That game has changed. If you go back, if you can find people who played 5, the first one that actually came out for the public, go watch a video of somebody playing 7 Days to Die Alpha 5. And it is nothing like what we have now.
Dark Ages.
It is so different. Everything is different.
I think that's about the time that my brother first started trying to get me to play it, and I said, no fucking way, I'm out. And I didn't play it for the longest time until like Cryptic and them were all playing it together with you, and it's like, yeah, I guess I'll give it another shot.
16 was good, and I probably wouldn't have played much of it if I came in at 15 when they still had the that fog around you all the time.
Oh, that fog. You couldn't see 2 feet in front of you.
Thank you. This is Kyle. Have either of you played Metal Gear games? I've been streaming them all of them chronologically. Just beat Metal Gear Solid 4 last week. I played the original Metal Gear. That's the only one I've ever played.
You want to know sad? The first one I played was Snake's Revenge. The only non-canon Metal Gear game.
Nice.
Yeah. But I did play them all up until 5. I didn't play 5 or any of those.
Faithless says, I hate when games have limits on characters, like only one player file. Oh, me too. It was one of my worries about the Hogwarts game, because I know myself and I knew I would not be able to just play on stream. And when you first set up the game, you don't really have it doesn't look like you're going to be able to make more than one file until you first restart the game after you've been playing, and then suddenly, I can make more files. I do not like games where I can't have more than one file.
I don't like, well, I can't say I don't like the games, but I don't like it when games that let you make multiple characters don't organize those files into character batches. So like if you get what I mean, like if you're playing Skyrim and you play as a rogue, well, make sure you don't overwrite your rogues files because you made a new warrior that you want to play. Because if you overwrite the save file, you're fucked and they're not labeled. So
yeah. Scarfy, thank you so much. I remember when 7 Days to Die was and looked like a Minecraft clone. Yeah, it's come so far, man. People give it a lot of shit because we're going into 8 years of alpha. But the changes they've made, it's not like it's the same game and it's only had like, they added a new zombie. They've changed so much of that fucking game. Metal Gear Solid 3 is my favorite. I don't even remember Metal Gear. I know I played it. I just don't remember much about it.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is when you it's Snake Eater. It's when you're playing not as Snake, but Big Boss before it becomes Big Boss.
I cut my teeth on KOTOR 1 and 2, especially with the restored content mod. Oh, I love KOTOR. Knights of the Old Republic is a very linear game, and it's because of the limitations at the time when they made them. Made by BioWare, right?
Yes, back when they were, reputable.
Good, yeah. The first one, the story is great, but the actual gameplay is kind of shit.
Yeah,
it is. It's so linear. You're in this actually a pretty small fucking map. And yeah, I still love the game. Don't get me wrong, because I do like the story, and it was playable enough. But compared to something like the what the hell's the name of it? Jedi Academy. What was the one that came right before that? Jedi Outcast.
Yeah,
Jedi Outcast. If you're looking for a fun Star Wars game, get halfway through that game, and then you get a really fun Star Wars game. Once you get your lightsaber, the fighting mechanic in that actually felt like you were controlling the lightsaber. And it's the only game I've ever played where it really did.
This is why people
And
are really mad what they did to Kyle Katarn, because he was the guy. That was the character that got a lot of people into lightsaber combat. As it can be more than just slamming on the X button.
Yes, indeed. And then Jedi Academy was okay. They kind of dropped the ball story wise on that one.
Ironic, they actually made a book where the main character comes back, the one you play as. So canonically, you are a human male, by the way.
Well, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Just saying. I haven't done this all show. We're brought to you by you. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button on Rumble, and if you can, donate to Dax or myself.
Hey, I got a pretty big donation today, I'll be honest. You give it all to Monkey. Show Monkey some love.
Links are at the top of your YouTube chat and going through YouTube chat, thanks to the wonderful Miss Stargazer Nuts. Although I think it was oh, no, I do have Nuts is up there. Oh, that's right. Hate Camel had it first, but when you came in, she added yours, so I pinned that one.
I love them both equally, but only one of them, more attractively. You two can figure it out.
Ian says early Splinter Cell games were great. Anybody who watches me play games know I hate sneaking. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, but you're Michael Ironside.
Let me say this. Before we get to Splinter Cell, you have to do a sneaking mission in Hogwarts. And again, I hate sneak. It was actually not bad, because this isn't one where you have to wait for like 6 hours for something to move so you can go ahead and get where you need to go. I hate that shit. But I love the Splinter Cell games. I absolutely fucking love them. I've played up through I think the third one. The last one I played is whatever came out right before Double Agent. I haven't played Double Agent. I haven't played what's one that starts with a C?
I lost track of the names of the games, to be honest. I just play them.
Fuck yeah. I own them all on Steam because I got them on a sale many years ago. But I haven't played them.
Keep an eye out for that. If they go back on sale, I'd like to buy them.
Chaos Theory, is that the last one? My favorite of them, and the only thing wrong with it is you don't have your knife yet, is Pandora Tomorrow. That one was fun as fuck.
I like the comedy.
And great fucking story in that one.
It's like how you could just listen to guys talk, and they'll have conversations about like their entire lives and what they want to do when they get out, when they're going to retire, and then you like take them back and you can tell them like these lies. It's so it's like yeah, this is a simulation. Well, now that you've lost, you got to tell me where the bad guys are.
I've tried to play the Hitman series, and I think it's June or July they're going to unlock it so that if you own 3, you get if you own number 3, you get all 3 of them together.
Oh.
And I'm probably going to play that on stream, but I suck at it real bad. This is Kyle. Thank you. One last Metal Gear thing. In Metal Gear Solid 3, one of the boss fights has a mechanic that if you save the game and come back a week later in real life, you find that the boss died of old age.
Yeah, the character's name is The End. He's a geriatric sniper, the one of the best in the world. And yes, if you come back after a week, he will be dead where you left him.
That's one of the things I like about what they've started doing with the Far Cry series. They started it in number 4, where you go meet the bad guy and tells you to wait, and that's where you're supposed to kick off the game. You're supposed to sneak out, but if you just wait there, he comes back and the game just kind of ends. All right, here you go, and you take off. In 5, if you don't arrest, is it Joseph? Is that the leader?
I don't remember.
If you don't arrest him, they're like, okay, you can leave, and everybody just leaves, and the game's over. I like little goofy shit like that.
That's why I like games with multiple endings.
Mm-hmm. And real multiple endings, not like it's the exact same thing, except for we threw in a different bit of dialogue for you.
That's why I love Chrono Cross. It's a PS1 game that's a sequel. Sequel to Chrono Trigger. And for those who've played, you'll know what I meant. But it has like 16 or something endings, something like that. And they're all different.
You can get Pikachu and Pogo if you wait around without taking the 3 starters. Really? Yes, I just like little things like that they throw in for people. Anyway, I did that on both just to find out what happens. Oh, yeah. They did it I think you can do it in 6 too. I'm just not sure how. 6 was such a disappointment. I didn't care about the story at all. Like, not at all. I got bored with it. I didn't even finish the game. Oh, we got Castro here. I don't fucking care. You've given me no reason to care about this at all. Nothing more disappointing than a story game with a bad story.
Yeah. Being disengaged the entire time just takes away from everything. That's why I think Outer Worlds needed some big pep talking to before they finished the script.
Yeah.
I love the game. I mean, it's got the stuff I want in there because it's fun. It's something you don't want to take too seriously. You just wish there was a little more there.
Rambler says, wait, Monk and Dax still talking. Me and Dax can talk for hours and hours and hours.
We won't remember what we started talking about, and then we'll come back to the same subject 3 hours later.
Yep, it happens.
Oh, Legacy of Kain. Oh, that's one of my favorite games of all time. The series is phenomenal. The story was crafted by the gods.
Never played.
You need to play it. It's outdated now, to be perfectly honest, but the voice acting is top tier. The puzzles are mostly good. Combat is PS1 basic, but it's just the story is why you go for it.
Could never beat Earthbound for the longest time. I don't even know what Earthbound is. Have to get one chick to pray. Shoot her in the knee. I learned that that's how you get somebody on your knees. I learned that from Tombstone.
Earthbound was the SNES classic sequel to a game called Mother that was on the NES, if I remember correctly. And it got by Earthbound in the US because, they like to change the titles of games.
Sure.
And it introduced a rolling life bar mechanic. So like say you're going to take fatal damage from an attack and you had 800 life to start and it's going to start ticking. Well, if you heal in the middle of that roll down damage, it stops the reversal. So it's great. But it also, you don't get to see your sprites attacking. You just see the enemy on screen and you see like flashes of color and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Eagle says I'm so bad at most games. I am not a pro player. My biggest problem in games is panic. I panic in games and it gets me killed. However, when I used to play Day of Defeat, man, oof, I was dangerous in that game. I loved Day of Defeat Source. It was so much fun. I used to spend just days playing that fucking game. But most of the time, if you watch me play a game, you'll see me die. You'll see me do stupid shit. You'll see me have to, okay, like, hey, how do I do this? And ask the audience how to get past it. I'm not pro, but I just like having fun.
Oh, somebody mentioned Wild Arms. That is one of my favorite RPG series. They went weird after like 3, but that's so good. They're Western games with a bit of magic thrown in there and a little bit of robotics thrown there, but it always feels like Westerny. I actually think you'd really enjoy it for RPGs, considering it's not one of your super loves like some other types of games. But I think you'd like Wild Arms.
Oh, I love RPGs, man. A good RPG.
These are good. This is what I mean. They're good.
Rambler says, "Don't play Monster Hunter." Then I played Monster Hunter. I didn't like it. It's so sluggish.
Monster Hunter is the game that me and Satsu begged Monkey to play. He doesn't want to play it. He won't play it.
I did play it.
You didn't play it as long as he and I did. Like Satsu is a god compared to even what I can do.
No, you guys absolutely love the game. I don't like the sluggish controls on it, and it's something that if that's the only game you've ever played, you might not even notice how sluggish the combat is. But if you're used to playing something, for instance, Dark Souls, you have instantaneous movement. In Monster Hunter, like, okay, I gotta swing this big axe, and I'm swinging it, and I'm swinging it, and it's finally coming down. Oh, I missed. And you got to do that whole shit again. It's not as bad as I just described it, but for me, it feels that way. I can't. I tried. You saw me try.
I told you go with sword and board. I'm telling you, the speed would have definitely made up for it.
Even then, it's too sluggish for me.
Yeah, suffice to say, that's more of a Misatsu thing, and that's understandable. Yeah. We're not all going to like the same exact games.
Indeed, indeed. Now, if you're looking for and I don't mean to toot my own horn here, if you're looking for a professional level player on 7 days, come hang out.
Yeah, you have some builds even I don't do.
Yeah. I go nuts, man. My last build, I was like, that worked so much better than even I thought it would.
You've had builds that inspired me.
But again, that's a game I have almost 4,000 hours in, Daxie.
It's a fun game. Oh, somebody mentioned Legend of Dragoon. So you guys have a lot of good taste. We have really good people in our chat.
Oh, we do. We absolutely do.
Legend of Dragoon is literally my favorite PS1 game. Hands down. Can't argue.
Wait. Eagle says, oozing with modesty. Those of you who've watched me play. Seriously. You see these other guys, and I'm not meaning to be mean to them. They go overboard on ridiculous stuff that you don't need to do. And if I just hone in, I'm like, okay, it's a game of math. It really is. It's just math. And I build my bases based on that. And like, bring it. I will kick the shit out of you little zombie bitches. I am so good at the game, I get bored on Horde Night. Like, seriously bored. Like, huh?
That's what I'm telling you, man. I think you'd like Darkness Falls.
I was watching, I forget who it was, somebody recently playing Darkness Falls, and I hear you. I understand. I want to wait for 21 to come out and see how I feel about that one, and then maybe I'll try Darkness Falls with whatever they're able to do with it.
One moment. Vanilla Bear's in chat.
Hi, Vanilla Bear. How you doing, sweetie?
Miss you.
Anyway, there's a lot of these games I'll never know. If it's not a PC game, there's a chance I don't know it, because there was a long time in my life where I didn't play. We had the consoles, the kids played them, but once I was able to actually PC game, I've almost exclusively done that, except for handhelds.
Yeah, I've been the same way.
Because I like consoles and stuff. I never hated them. I loved my Nintendo. I loved the Super Nintendo, the Genesis. I probably stopped playing consoles on any kind of regular basis with the GameCube.
I stopped playing consoles after the 360 because I like modding games too much.
There you go. I hear you. And you can't really do that on. Didn't they open it up like the new Xbox has a little bit of modding potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can only get certain mods, and they can only be a certain size, and all this other crap. No, I want an overhaul where, if I really want to make a bunch of big titty goth girls running around and all the men are lobster men, you can't really do that on an Xbox.
I've been watching Neebs gaming. Oh, Neebs is funny as
He's
shit.
so awesome. I love those guys.
I haven't watched him in forever, but
they're the ones who made me finally get convinced to actually accept my brother's invitation to play Darkness Falls.
Those guys are funny as shit, and Simon is my spirit animal.
I knew you were going to say Simon because mine is probably thick.
Simon just does the stupidest shit for no reason. I'm like, I understand why he did that.
I love their Among Us series. If you watch all that in one sitting, it's so fun.
This is Kyle. Thank you. So how much more do I have to donate for you to play Halo Reach? LOL. You don't have to donate anything. I just need to get in the mood to play it. I think I have it.
I like
I don't have my Steam on. Somebody bought me the whole Halo series thing on Steam. Is Reach part of that one?
It was either Reach or ODST. I can't remember. I'm not as big a huge Halo fan as other people. I played 1 through 3. I played Reach and ODST, and I played Halo Wars 1. I just don't care after that. I played a little bit of 4, and it was like, eh.
Fugi says after Alan Wake. Yeah, I still have to play Alan Wake. It's loaded in my computer. I've just never played it.
You should. I think actually you would enjoy that. It's just spooky enough.
Faithless says, isn't Xbox just a proprietary PC now? Since probably what generation is PlayStation 3?
Oh, I forget what the number is.
Yeah,
there's been so many generations in my life.
Once you hit PlayStation 3, and I would say probably even the first Xbox, you're basically talking computers at the time. Thank you. This is Kyle. I know you have Reach. I bought it for you, Elo. Yeah, I thought I had it. Thank you. And thank you again for the donation and the game. It's just something one of these days when I'm like, God, what the fuck am I going to play? I'll load that up. It's just when. Oh, this guy, what Monkey meant to say is keep the donos coming and we'll find out how much more. That's Mr. Dax, that's probably the smarter way to go. I'm horrible at shilling. I just really am. Occasionally I remember to be a jackass, but not often, Daxy.
Yeah, it's just a natural thing.
Now, it is almost noon here. We've been going for 2 hours. I would love to keep the conversation going, but I really do need to go. I need to go get some Hogwarts played, man.
Yeah.
And I'm finally in the game where, from playing more than I have on stream, I'm getting to where it opens up a little bit more. Not quite a bit. I will say this about the story. I think that they lock too much stuff for too long behind story quests.
I heard it takes a while to get your broom.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, like I said, I don't have my thing up, but I'm 6 or 8 hours into my playthrough on that one, and I just got my broom.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of cool, because I'm a guy who likes a long length game that actually keeps you engaged, but limiting you to not having a broom. I mean, even fucking Ron had a broom right away. Come on.
Right. And you don't even get a broom. I've just gone through the broom training. I'm gonna have to go buy myself one, but just too much of it feels locked behind these things where you have to play. I'm trying not to ruin anything here. You actually have to do stuff that's important to the story. And then they're like, okay, now you can unlock, what's the one, the spell that'll take away a wand when it would have been helpful earlier on.
Oh, the disarming spell. What the fuck is the name of that one?
I forget the name of it. Expelliarmus or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just, they should have done that all at the beginning to give you these things and then set you into the world to go fight and learn the story and all that. There's not a good reason to lock them behind there. It's kind of like, you know how much I love Red Dead.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite games of all time, Red Dead 2. I get pissed off every time I start a new game on how long it takes me to learn fishing. I like to fish. It's part of the game that you got to get through, but you got to get halfway through this second chapter when you're up on the bluff. before they're like, okay, now you can learn fishing. And by the way, we're going to move you soon. Ugh.
I hate it when they move the camps.
I just wish they would have left you alone a little bit longer in some of them. I mean, you can spend as much time you want there as long as you don't do the story quests.
Which I don't. I'm the kind of guy who puts off the story stuff till absolutely last.
Well, and I also hate that you end up destroying Valentine twice. And like, there's no way they would ever let you step foot. I don't care how many bounties you pay off. There's no way they're letting you step foot in this place again.
Yeah, it can't happen.
As soon as they saw you, they'd kill you. And there could have been ways to do like the bank robbery quest where you got away without having to kill the whole fucking town.
I like robbing the train.
Good to see you, monks. Not being rude, but of course the Yanks blew it up. No, I don't think that's rude at all. I actually had arguments with people in the audience about whether or not we blew up the Nord Stream, and that it was us. I'm pretty
Guaranteed.
positive. Speaking of Red Dead 2, it's now the number 8 most sold game in history. Good for them.
Nice. If only
There's
they
a
would
lot
have
of
paid attention to the online.
There's a lot of love in that game, man. They put a lot into that game.
But not the online.
I love the bounty hunter missions in Red Dead 2. Me too. I just wish there were more.
That's why I like how they're repeatable and again, the online. That's one of my biggest draws when I go play. It's like, oh, I'm hunting and fishing, and it makes me a lot of money. Well, not fishing, but hunting, and I'm getting a lot of money. I'm like, fuck this. I'm just going to hunt somebody down for a couple bucks. It's much more fun.
Yeah. I just wish there were more of them. And even if it was less story intensive, because a lot of those have good story, just somebody I had to go find and capture. That would have been a lot. I just throw some more in there.
They should have included it. I mean, Radiant AI is not like impossible to do, especially in a game like that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, you're probably right. I doubt they're ever going to make it quite like that ever again.
I don't know. I mean, they're working on GTA 6 right now.
Yeah, they've already got controversy for it.
Well,
really,
female protagonist.
I don't care. In fact, I'm more than happy to stare at an ass like that for a while.
I mean, for me, it depends on the story. I don't give a shit which character it is.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, exactly. As long as the story is good, I really don't care.
I hope they bring Lester back in 6. I'm not even sure what the canonical ending for 5 was.
Everyone survives, as far as I know.
Is that the canon?
I'm pretty sure that's canon.
Because in the game, you can either get Michael or fuck. Why does my brain do that? You can either get Michael or Trevor killed, or you can save everybody. And I didn't even know you could do that because I just saved everybody.
The game kind of pushes you to do it. That's why I think it's a canonical ending. It's like that's the one they like the most is when you can save everybody.
Pyrus asked, do I recommend Hogwarts Legacy? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm far enough into the game that if I run into bugs later, I can say it like, hey, it doesn't seem buggy to me. The IGN review of it said, that the legacy or the legacy story is lackluster. I wouldn't say that so far, at least. But again, it does get broken up by this. Oh, you got to go learn this new spell right now when they should have just given you the spells. The side quests are mostly fetch kind of missions. They're but I'm having so much fun in it. And if you're a Harry Potter fan, this game is a must.
I was going to say, this is a huge nostalgia thing. It's like you're exploring the character that is Hogwarts.
Dude, when you first start out, you've watched this, right?
Yeah.
Spoiling. And guys, literally, this is one of the first thing that happens. It's not really a spoil. You go to Gringotts, and I was like, holy shit, we're in Gringotts. And I'm fanboying it up watching this go on around me. And there've been times I'm sitting there watching, the interactions, and I'm like, no, I want more story. Keep going. I'll kill stuff in a minute. Keep telling me shit.
Just keep talking. It's so good.
I've had a lot of fun with it so far. I do highly recommend so far. We'll see again when we get to the end. I mean, A lot of games peter out in the middle, and then they'll give you some flashy ending that doesn't make any sense, really. So hopefully that doesn't happen here.
Saints
I
Row.
have, I have no idea what goes on. I've stayed as far away as I can from any kind of spoilers and stuff.
I knew I could get away with watching some people play because they're not going to get far enough where the whole game is done for me.
Fair.
That's why I was watching COG because COG my bro, so I watch his stuff. But yeah, he was playing through, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't feel like I can't play this because the story is absolutely broken. I have a good idea what's going to happen in the first 8 hours.
Are there any secret passages and stuff like that? Yeah, there's a few.
Are there any secret passages? Come on.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job with building Hogwarts, man.
I like that the base you have is I forget what they call it now because now I've got you gave me your curse.
What, they're in the room of requirements?
Thank you, room of requirements.
Yes. I like it. It's kind of weird.
It makes sense from I'm the player and this is my world sort of thing. Like
no, I have no problem with it, but you should have had to step out of it before it changes.
That's true.
Canonically, you should have had to step out, think of what you wanted, and then change it. And instead, you're standing in the middle of it, and it all just moves around you.
Yeah, you're supposed to concentrate, and then it's supposed to be what you need it to be.
Yeah,
because it makes what you think you need.
Yes, and that's the only part of that part that bothered me. But otherwise, yeah, it's really cool. That's a smart idea for how to do all that for you, to give you your own little base. I was really impressed with it. That's smart. But guys, I am going to go do that. Who wants to see Monkey play Formula One? I do like racing games, going all the way back to pole position, man. But I haven't played one in a long, long time. You guys have seen how I drive in video games. Stop bullshitting and go play. I'm gonna leave me alone.
That's not driving. That's crashing with style.
This is why you never leave before I sing. One of my favorite games that me and Lady Monkey used to play is Road Rash. And what's the there's a game like that on Steam. I have it. I forget the name of it. But Road Rash, for those who don't know, it was a motorcycle racing game where you had weapons and shit to knock the other players off their bikes. It was a lot of fun. Does Grand Monkey need any more money? Look, she's still raising money. It goes through the 3rd of March. So if you ever want to donate to that, please let me know that's what the donation is for. Keep bullshitting and play later. No, I want to go play. I want to go play some Hogwarts. I didn't play. I played yesterday, Daxie, till probably like 6 in the evening, and then I haven't played since, and I'm a little jittery. You know how it goes. You're a gamer
for it, yeah.
David says, I loved Road Rash. Road Rash was so much fun. And me and Lady Monkey, we were mean as shit to each other in that game.
Dude, Rock and Roll Racing was awesome. So was Twisted Metal.
I never played that one.
Rock and Roll Racing, it's great. You get a bunch of like major rock tracks, like stuff from Black Sabbath, and they'll be in the background as like MIDI crushed files and no singing, but you recognize a song and you get to blow people up and drive. It's great.
Nice. One of my favorite things in the original Saints Row, was it Saints? Oh yeah, Saints Row was the derby. What do they call those things?
No, God damn it!
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, fuck, I do. Demolition Derby.
Demolition Derby. Thank you.
God,
I played
dumb today.
I played the fuck out of that, and I just sit there and just redo it over and over again. I had so much fun doing it. They need a good Demolition Derby game.
They do. I don't want the original creator to come back for a Twisted Metal game because he's a dick, but another Twisted Metal game would be great.
I like the Overlord games. I'm not even familiar.
I have them. They are actually pretty awesome.
What are they?
You are the Overlord, and you play as an evil character, though that is debatable depending on how evil you want to be. And you control different types of imps as an army, and you send them to do tasks and do your battles, although you can fight too and cast spells. It's a neat little controllable army sim.
I just opened up my Steam. Baldur's Gate 3 has an update. I haven't played that since it first came out. I need to revisit that. They've added so much to it. But ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping up. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Thank you so very much for the donations. Sorry about the very spastic timing of this episode.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm still awake.
I appreciate it too, because it's nice to get to chat with you, man. But no offense, my favorite part of it is that I got actual sleep last night. Doesn't happen very often, and sorry about the world around you, but occasionally Monkey does need to sleep.
So he says.
Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind. Dax, anything you want to show out?
No, this is great. Other than, well, no, you know what? I'm going to shill you as well as I should.
Thank you.
Phasmophobia. That's one of my favorite things to watch you guys play, and you do it twice a week, and I'm sure he'll tell you when, if he does, and when he does. Just check his Twitter. Him and Bubba having a lot of fun. Monkey dies a lot. Makes me smile.
Yeah, we play that on Tuesday and Wednesday evenings. So that's the actual day of Tuesday, the actual day of Wednesday, but it's overnight usually. So yeah, just check Twitter. It's the easiest way to find. I'll be over on twitch.tv on the same channel I play Phasmo on here in just a few moments, playing some Hogwarts Legacy. I'm really enjoying the game, and I am a Harry Potter nerd, so suck it. It's like, you're a nerd. Yep, I'm okay with it. I love Harry Potter. The whether you think of the writing was good or not, the world she built is a lot of fun, and I'm glad they didn't put this in the Harry Potter timeline. That they moved it away from that, so you can have your own story and everything. I kind of wish they would have put it past Harry Potter in the future, and maybe they'll do that later, and not too much in the future, but like after the Harry Potter series, just something after it, where people know who Harry Potter is, but I don't have to really give a shit about him, and I can do my own thing at the school. I would like one where you kind of get to go through the years too. That would be a little bit of fun, but that's a big ass build. But for now, I'm just happy they gave us our Harry Potter RPG. Because most of the Harry Potter games you come across suck ass. But Hogwarts Legacy is a lot of fun. Come join me, twitch.tv /ranting monkey here in just a few minutes. Guys, thanks for watching. Daxy, dude, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always fun.
Guys, have a wonderful night. We will see you next time.
Laters.
I don't know what to sing about, so we'll sing about my wiener. I don't know what rhymes with it, so I'm just going to say wiener again.